Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh. Hope everybody's having a good day today. There we go. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to the Hangout. I'm Merc Radio. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon. I know I sure am. It was a rainy morning here in the desert, which is interesting. It's rained more here than I guess it has in a long time. Year I moved here, which is interesting. 5:15 p.m. in England, huh? Let's see. Been working your tuchus off. Oh, that's cool. I'm doing pretty good, Selena. Hey, that's interesting. Interesting work you're doing on YouTube, being more inclusive to deaf people. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, lady. Yeah. Oh, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know, it's episode 3 of the Hangout. We have no plan, but I will tell you. I've watched a lot of conspiracy theories go around about Bob Saget yesterday, and then to cap off the whole conspiracy chub I had yesterday, Bob Saget's family is trying to quiet the whole thing, which is weird. Which is weird to me. Why would his family try to quiet people trying to get some answers? And what happened to Bob? What happened to Bob Saget? So, I'm going to... while we're warming up and everyone's piling in this morning, I'm going to go ahead and hit play on something. Just a little bit of the news about Bob Saget.
Or there are more questions than answers after an autopsy report on the probable cause of the death of comedian Bob Saget. The medical examiner's office in Florida last week found that the actor died after a significant blow to his head, one that fractured his skull in several places and caused bleeding across both sides of his brain. The report doesn't exactly say how Saget was hurt so badly, but experts say it describes an unmistakably serious set of injuries.
I bet you do have a lot of rain there in Wales, huh?
If not unconscious. If Saget were to have struck his head in just the wrong place and with enough force, it is possible the fractures would have extended across his skull. As Dr. Jeffrey Bazarian, an emergency physician and concussion expert at the University of Rochester Medical Center, says, quote, "It's like an egg cracking. You hit it in one spot and it can crack from the back to the front." However, Dr. Gavin Britz, neurosurgery chair at Houston Methodist, says, quote, "This is a significant trauma. This is something I find with someone with a baseball bat to the head or who has fallen from 20 or 30 feet. The report echoes what Saget's family said following his death, that the comedian died due to the head trauma. Authorities have ruled out any foul play so far. Joining us now, practicing neurologist and stroke specialist, Dr. Jason Freeman. He's the former medical director of the stroke program at Sibley Memorial Hospital in Washington, D.C. Dr. Freeman, looking at the medical examiner's report, does it raise questions to you?
Good morning, Mika, and thanks for having me. I want to start off by saying that the opinions I offer today are my own, not of my former or current employer. And I think the autopsy report does raise a number of questions about the nature and extent of the injuries. If we typically see slip and falls that occur usually in the bathroom, someone hits the back of their head on the shower or the bathroom floor, these injuries described in detail in the autopsy report seem to go beyond that. And I think, as you described in your opening, this is where some of the medical professionals begin to speculate about what could have caused the actual injuries.
Well, and there's the report that, and one doctor in the Times.
A vase can shatter a million different ways, so I wonder. I really do wonder what's going on there.
Talked about how what disturbed him the most was that you had skull fracture that actually around the orbital area, and he suggested that this was what he usually typically saw when somebody fell 20 or 30 feet. Would you agree with that?
I would agree that the injuries as described do typically form because of significant head trauma. So again, when someone slips and falls and hits the back of their head, there's actually room for the brain to shift between the back and front of the head and cause some of the injuries as described in the autopsy report. But the degree of those fractures, especially of the orbital and frontal bones, is typically seen with high impact traumas that you might see in a motor vehicle accident, blunt force trauma, and again, someone particularly falling from a height. And so I think it raises the question, maybe was there more than one fall? Did he fall backwards and then fall forwards in an unprotected manner? And what was it that investigators found besides what was described in the autopsy report?
Is it possible one blow could have caused all the damage in his brain?
I think it is within the realm of possibility. The autopsy report, as described, just shows extreme findings, and I think that's why people begin to question whether or not there's more to the story. But it is possible.
Okay. Now that I've heard a little bit more of the black and white from a rational doctor on the news, I think there'll always be conspiracy around that. I don't know if there's any. I think it'll be like Elvis, man, or David Carradine, or Chris Cornell, or the guy from Linkin Park. It's going to be one of those situations. You know what I mean? Apparently Kanye West is taking accountability for harassing Kim Kardashian. Let's check this out. There's entertainment news. Let's start off hot with entertainment news.
Kanye West just took accountability for harassing Kim Kardashian on social media after his now ex-girlfriend Julia Fox revealed that Kanye encouraged him to details about their relationship in order to make Kim jealous.
Oh, snap.
It looks like Kanye West might finally be apologizing to his ex Kim Kardashian.
Hopefully he's calming down a little bit and realizing that he's boofed his chances. Those chances aren't coming back. He's messed it up. It's over. Your lady left you.
After his recent social media firestorm in which he put Kim on blast for pretty much everything, from the treatment of their 4 kids to her relationship with Pete Davidson. After leaking literal screenshots of his and Kim's text conversations to Instagram, it looks like Ye has wiped his entire IG feed and is starting things fresh with an apology to Kim, but in lowercase this time. On Tuesday, Kanye posted a pic of himself on stage and captioned the image, "I've learned that using all caps makes people feel like I'm screaming at them. I'm working on my communication." Ye went on to address his recent controversy with Kim, writing, "I know sharing screenshots was jarring and came off as harassing Kim. I take accountability. I'm still learning in real time. I don't have all the answers. To be a good leader is to be a good listener." Wow. Talk about a full 180 from some of his previous posts.
Something's up.
Kanye might be taking the time to apologize for his actions in the wake of some pretty major accusations from his now ex, Julia Fox, who recently claimed that Ye wanted her to hype up their very public relationship in order to make Kim jealous. Yup, in case you missed it, it was a pretty ill-fated Valentine's Day for Julia and Ye after Julia took to social media to confirm that she and Kanye did in fact call it quits on their month-and-a-half-long romance, just days after she referred to Ye as her boyfriend during an episode of the Call Her Daddy podcast.
I'm confused.
Julia then went on to fire back at an
Yeah, or just the absence of any absence of any evidence, Selena, in the Bob Saget case. Yeah, I think you might be right there. I think you might be right there. Absolutely.
Instagram user's comment after they accused her of being desperate for attention. The IG comment read, Julia Fox,
But it'll be a mystery forever, the Bob Saget
you
case.
talked about the man in the press like you were married, just desperate for the attention. Wasn't even 15 minutes, maybe like 2 minutes of fame. To which Julia clapped back with, he f***ing wanted me to. Wow. So yeah, while it's obviously unverified, Julia's claim about Ye pretty much confirms the long-running speculation that he was, in fact, flaunting their relationship in hopes of making Kim jealous. Her comments come in the wake of a Daily
That's
Mail article that claims
hilarious.
Julia was left in tears following her breakup with Ye, in which she adamantly denied doing so in a scathing post to her Instagram stories. Julia slammed the article for being not true before going on to confirm that she and Kanye were on good terms and that for all the tea, fans were going to have to buy the book when it comes out. Gotta say, I don't think I can handle hearing any more about this messy situation, let alone a whole book about it. But way to capitalize on the whole situation. In a follow-up IG post that he quickly deleted, Ye shared an image that read, "Stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children and start asking mothers why he had to fight at all." For now, only time will tell if Ye will actually stick to his promise of taking accountability and if he'll finally stop targeting Kim, Pete, and others on social media. Here's hoping that Kanye and Kim can settle their issues in private from now on, that this family can process all of this off social media, and that the whole dramatic telenovela style situation is finally winding down.
I don't know if
Now
it
go ahead and
is,
click right over
though.
here.
I don't know if it is, though. Here's the thing. It's Kanye. And I'm sure he's just feeling rational right now, but that's crazy. Oh, man. Selena says, Kanye, well, I don't trust his soul-searching statement. If he's manipulative, as they say, then he knows how to do an apology well. Yeah, doesn't mean he's changed his heart. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we got the news. Alec Baldwin sued by family of cinematographer killed. Alec Baldwin's literally trying to blame everybody else around him but himself for that situation, which, you know. Let's see. PBS NewsHour. Apparently the Super Bowl halftime show was killer. I haven't seen it yet. Meant to, but just haven't checked it out yet. Don't really watch the Super Bowl. Not a big sports person. Biden rejects Trump privilege claim.
President Biden is opposing another effort by former President Trump to withhold information from the committee investigating the January 6th attack of the Capitol. NBC News has obtained a copy of the letter sent to the National Archives ordering the agency to hand over White House visitor logs the panel is seeking. First reported this morning by the New York Times, the paper states in a letter to the National Archives, Biden's White House counsel said Biden had rejected Trump's claims that the visitor logs were subject to executive privilege and that in light of the urgency of the committee's work, the agency should provide the material to the committee within 15 days. The Times notes Biden's White House counsel told the National Archives the documents need to be disclosed in a timely fashion because Congress has a compelling need.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.
I'm good on the ABC News app. Thank you, though. What up, Debbie? What up, Debbie? I got my UK peoples here, dude. What's up, British Isles? Lordy. Refresh this news page. From 1 hour ago, Biden's issuing warnings to Russia. Oh. Right on, Debbie.
President Biden addressed the American people after Vladimir Putin claimed.
Yeah, I love watching body language analysis. Kind of a buff for it myself. you'll hear me reference certain things from different talking heads. I'm muted on Discord still. My bad. There we go. Boom. What up, my dude? That makes a lot of sense. My bad. I forgot to unmute when I rolled the show.
Some Russian troops are.
But
Oh, you're good. I just got here.
oh, right on. The Discord is open, everybody. Link in description for an invite to the Discord.
Are being withdrawn
Hop
from the
on in
border,
here and chit
raising
chat.
hopes of a diplomatic solution to the crisis. President Biden also
Biden's issuing stern warnings. You know, we had some troops maneuvering yesterday, and it gave me a bit of a
warned
conspiracy
Russian
chub.
invasion of Ukraine remains a distinct possibility, and that Americans will have to be prepared to pay a price if that.
But it looks like we're still here.
Chief White House
They're still
correspondent
there.
Cecilia
I don't
Vega
know.
starts us off. Good morning, Cecilia.
George, good morning to you. Sources are telling me U.S. intelligence shows that Vladimir Putin could be ready to do this as early as today. It is unclear whether he has made this decision to invade at this point. But as you said, President Biden saying that an invasion is a distinct possibility.
There's a few different people I really like. I like when Todd Grande goes into body language things, but forget the name of them. I'll have to look on my channel. I normally just click through things that are through like on my suggested feed, but I forget their name. I love body language analysis though. Oh, the behavior panel. A lot of people that show up here love the behavior panel. I need to watch the behavior panel, and maybe we should adopt some of their formats.
This morning, with Europe on the brink of war, new images showing more U.S. forces from Fort Campbell deploying to Poland.
But I'm not the behavior panel. I'm in no
President
way
Biden holding out
certified
hope
or
for
an
diplomacy,
expert
but
in
issuing
true
a
crime or
stern new warning to Moscow.
criminal investigations in
Let
any
there
way.
be no doubt. If Russia commits this breach by invading Ukraine, responsible nations around the world will not hesitate to respond.
Russia claims it has pulled back some troops from Ukraine's border, even releasing this new video claiming it shows forces leaving Crimea. But so far,
Yes.
the U.S. has seen no evidence of a withdrawal.
We have not yet verified the Russian military units are returning to their home bases.
Sources tell ABC News the U.S. believes Russian troops have
can't
actually
think of a
moved
single
closer to
responsible
Ukraine's
government.
border and are now in position to attack.
Yeah,
Officials believe
I
an
can't.
invasion would likely
Yeah.
begin with electronic warfare and aerial
just a poor
bombardment
choice of
on
words.
critical infrastructure
Yeah.
before entering Kyiv and taking control of the government.
Not in
With plans to
2022.
complete
We're
the
all
mission in
everyone seems
24 to
crazy.
72 hours. But the Russians would face steep resistance, and there would likely be thousands of
Make an
casualties.
anarchist out of somebody,
Ukrainian soldiers and
2022.
military personnel actually far outnumber the 150,000 Russian forces assembled.
This is not a conventional force-on-force kind of military. This will be involved taking over a large country with huge cities. So the task in front of the Russians, if they decide to invade, is going to be terribly bloody and terribly costly.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
not
want it
like
to-
This is going to be a
I
cakewalk.
don't want it to happen. I don't want him to
President Biden
annex
warning that
Ukraine. I don't
if he
like
does go
war
through with an
necessarily.
invasion, there will be
I don't like European war like that.
consequences for Americans here at home.
I will not pretend this will be painless. But the American people understand that defending democracy and liberty is never without cost.
Now, the pain that the president is referring to there, the White House says we are talking about potential higher prices at the gas pump as Russia goes through with this invasion. The president also
Yeah, Selena in the chat. I'll tell you, Todd Grande is some of the best sleepy time listening channel. You know what I've been putting on lately to go to sleep, or what Lux has been putting on when we go to sleep, is Unsolved Mysteries. Old Unsolved Mysteries. That's still a hit for me. It'll knock me out like a baby. I love it. Robert Stack all day. Voters oust San Francisco school board members over woke politics. All right,
We'll
Ro.
turn now to a developing story out of San Francisco where voters last night ousted 3 members of its Board of Education in a landslide recall election.
This is a huge story.
Yeah, the
politically, nationwide, this is a huge story.
The recall of each member was supported by more than 70% of voters.
Of each individual member of the
Critics
school board.
accuse them of putting progressive politics over priorities like the pandemic. For example, the board was criticized
Same,
for trying
Selena.
to rename schools when many parents...
Including schools named after Abraham Lincoln and Dianne Feinstein.
And this is when many parents wanted to focus on the reopening of schools. Some of the schools targeted were named after Abraham Lincoln, as Joe said, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and even longtime U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein. The election also galvanized Asian American parents after the board changed admissions requirements for one of the city's most prestigious high schools. San Francisco Mayor London Breed, who supported the recall, will now have to appoint replacements.
And of course, Elise Jordan,
Okay, there's the issue that brought the population to this. What is this? What is this, Asian racism? What is this?
The headline here is this is happening in San Francisco.
And
one of the most
racism
progressive
against
cities
Asians
in America.
is what I mean by that.
And you have
What is
parents, and this is a clear warning. We saw it from Virginia. We can now say, from Norfolk to San Francisco. You had parents in the Virginia election enraged that schools were shut down for too long, that there was too much distance learning. They were talking about critical race theory, which, of course, we've heard is not taught in Virginia schools. But still, you're hearing the same thing about a rebellion. And I've been saying this for a couple of years. People get really angry. Some people in their mom's basement on Twitter get really angry.
That's a good way to word it. So people in their mom's basement get really, we have people in their mom's basement that still give me their ad revenue all the time, who hate the show. Cracks me up. Like, no, okay, keep watching the ads and waiting. That's hilarious. All right, this is strange to me, but San Francisco, who knows where California is going to go politically after, a lot of people bailed out of California, man. Whoever's left is probably just some money that's stuck there, right? San Francisco, you have families and you have a large Asian population. So, I bet that school board got some heat if they did something changing requirements for Asian students. That's crazy. San Francisco.
You talk about woke politics.
I was talking about this the other day. It's hard enough to get an education for your child, man. It is hard to get like a decent education right now because of this COVID stuff. And again, that's not me being, we should open everything back up full stop. I just, that is a problem that parents face.
It really pisses off.
It was before.
It pisses off liberals.
Now it's worse.
It pisses off conservatives. Woke politics is actually really hurting Democratic candidates. And you take that, and you take again, Asian Americans, and the feelings that they're actually being preyed upon, not just physically in violence, but also politically. And it was a toxic mix, and a very liberal city threw out 3 progressive board members, and it wasn't even close.
No, it was a landslide throwing out those progressive school board members.
70%.
70%.
That was pretty universal, the outcry
Massive.
from San Francisco parents. And like you said, it's just reverberating around the nation.
Yeah, it is. I won't lie, I haven't heard anything about that yet. This was the first I've heard about it. I was like, I don't know if it's reverberating around the nation. But nuts, dude. 70% they recalled each member of the school board. Gross. Yeah, apparently Ukraine's still prepping for the potential of Russia. We have the news popping off about the 4-year-old girl that was found alive. Thank goodness. We talked about that at the end of the Summer Wells True Crime and Chat last night. Oh, thank goodness. Uh-oh.
Well, it is going to be several more hours before Sunrise Highway can reopen. Just to recap what happened here, a tractor trailer driving on Sunset Highway overturned at 1 o'clock in the morning, spilling 9,000 gallons of gasoline. That truck crashed into an abandoned Lazy Boy furniture gallery, as well as the side of a liquor store across the street. More than 150 firefighters from 25 different departments responded to this fire. 2 firefighters who were hospitalized with minor injuries have been released, as has the driver of the tanker truck, who is now being questioned by Nassau County Police. They are the ones leading this investigation. So here's what has to happen before any traffic can start moving through here again. Excavators need to remove what is left of the Lazy Boy so that firefighters can see if there are any remaining hotspots. They are still dousing parts of the building. The rest of the building then has to be inspected for structural integrity, and only after all of that happens can the Department of Transportation come in and assess if the highway can reopen. So this is going to be at least 5 or 6 hours. DPW crews are trying to open up Merrick Road, which runs parallel, to relieve some of the traffic. County Executive Bruce Blakeman had this message for residents.
Right now, I would anticipate staying away from the central corridor of Rockville Center at this time, as there's an ongoing investigation. There's ongoing work that's being done. As the Chief Fire Marshal said, there's still some hot spots, so the fire's not completely out.
Hot spots. Shout out firefighters, dude. Oh goodness. The news has been going off on Joe Rogan, dude. Let's see this. This is from Fox News, so I bet you they're in Joe's corner.
A shot at the king.
I bet you Joe's not happy about Fox News being in his corner half the time, by the way. If I had to gamble, I bet she's like, damn it. Why is it just the fucking asshole people I don't really like talking about me?
You better not miss. Cancel culture came for Joe Rogan last week. Rogan invited doctors on his podcast to
Look, the Brogans out there had to deal with return fire. A lot of people have been trying to cancel every liberal streamer out there, from Ethan Klein to Vaush, for their previous use of the N-word, no matter how much they've apologized for it. So, now the whole other side of the aisle has to deal with their messianic keto diet Lord and Savior eating a little crow and apologizing for his words. Again, I don't think Joe Rogan's racist. I heard the context in which he used the N-word back in the day. I used to watch that show religiously. So, I don't think Joe Rogan's racist. I think he just, shouldn't have used the word out loud the way he used to.
discuss early.
It's not a freedom of speech thing. It's just a common courtesy social cue thing.
Treatment for COVID.
I think he was blind to it because he's a meathead.
And preventative treatment. And the Pfizer-funded media went berserk. First, they said he was dangerous for spreading medical misinformation. They basically accused his podcast of killing people. So Rogan hit back at CNN this week.
The answer is not to silence me. The answer is to you to do better. The answer is for you to have better arguments. If you're in business and your business is the news and you want to get more people to pay attention, you should be honest. Stop this editorial perspective with guys like Brian Stelter and Don Lemon that nobody listens to. Nobody is like chiming in saying, oh yeah, finally we get the voice of reason.
And the mob was split. Their power weakened. Here's Jon Stewart siding.
I mean, I agree with Joe on that. I do think, we watch a lot of mainstream media, a lot of mainstream news on here. And the amount of research I have to do after the fact off of their stories, yeah. Or the kind of, we call them out all the time in the chat, here in the voice chat. We hear the news say some caca nonsense all the time, or just not make sense, or be laughably bad. I feel like a really big theme of this channel has become when the news is laughably bad. So I agree with Joe on that point.
With Rogan.
In the Iraq War, I was on the side of what you would think on the mainstream is misinformation. I was promoting what they would call misinformation. But it turned out to be right years later, and the establishment media was wrong.
The establishment media is wrong a lot.
First of all, if you're my age and you're still hella into Jon Stewart, that's just Steve from Blue's Clues for you because you were young during 9/11. Okay, you're not actually. He's not. He's a comedian who's from wealth. He'll never be poor. He's never been poor. He doesn't know what that life is like. Much like Joe Rogan, while Joe Rogan was poor in his youth, he's a millionaire selling vitamins. Jon Stewart has his own agenda while he does a lot of charity work. I know he's got a lot of irons in the fire right now. He's got a lot of stuff. There's a reason he's in the press, like anybody else who's in the press all the time. So I'm seeing Jon Stewart pop back into moderate, like centrist, almost messianic media figure, and it bothers me because he's back on TV and stuff. I don't know.
But for them, how can something be wrong when it feels so right? So now they're just left dumbfounded.
Well, I admit I'm out of ideas for what to do about Joe Rogan. I'm officially out of ideas.
CNN's been officially out of ideas for a while. But I have an idea for them. Stop trying to get Americans fired and just report the news. But the media had another idea. Why don't we just turn black UFC fighters against Rogan? At a UFC press conference yesterday, the champ, Israel Adesanya, threw it right back in their face. And that's the playbook on how to deal with cancel culture.
That's hilarious. They tried to get UFC people to turn on Rogan.
Stronger because of it.
You'll never get an MMA gym to turn on Rogan. That's the main Brogans, dude. The UFC crowd, that's his main, what?
You're in an octagon with cancel culture. And one person stays and the other leaves. And in this case, Rogan and Spotify remain in the octagon. And cancel culture slinks away and just finds a softer target to attack. That's how you play the game. Joining me now, Fox News contributor and the Hill Media.
Yeah, I mean, look, Joe Rogan, Ethan Klein, Hassan, everybody who's like that in the spotlight and is politically aware or open has done things in their past that by their current standard and their current crowd that they pander to is cancelable. Right? Everybody's done something in their past that somebody could be mad at. In my opinion, it's all about how you correct what you've done. And just proceeding with what you believe in. You know, that's Joe Rogan's right. I don't think his show could be canceled. I don't think it could be taken down. It would just find a new place, much like Alex Jones. But yeah, Jon Stewart made a really good point with what he used to report on The Daily Show would be considered misinformation, and the stance he used to take would be considered misinformation, and turned out to be true years later. I think it's a little bit different when we're talking about a virus. And unlike 9/11 or deep state conspiracy, I have personal experience with the virus and the vaccine, so I'm going to just keep deferring to my own personal experience. And if anybody wants advice, I'm going to give it from the path I've walked.
Media opinion columnist Joe Concha, and that's the playbook, right, Joe?
And I suggest everybody do that.
That is 100%.
Opinion be damned, but be ready for people to be mad at it.
Go forward and believe in free speech. And Joe Rogan's correct, by the way, Jesse. Not only is nobody listening to what Don Lemon and Brian Stetler have to say, but no one outside of friends and relatives appears to be watching the network as a whole, right? 90% of the audience is gone, right, when compared to the same time last year. Now imagine that. 10 people are in an airport watching that network in early 2021, and now 9 have left the gate. And you played the soundbite before, an anchor on CNN saying she's, quote, out of ideas about what to do about Joe Rogan. Is that an anchor's job to do something about somebody? Is this The Sopranos? Meanwhile, here's how the scoreboard is going, right? 11 million people listen to Joe Rogan on a daily basis. CNN, international brand, 42 years, with thousands of employees, is watched by less than 500,000 viewers.
Oh, Joe is like the most watched thing, period. Okay, like when he was on YouTube, he could break YouTube with a release of a podcast, dude. Yeah, there's no touching his reach. Like, but again, this is why I think he needs to be a little bit more responsible. I think he gets heated, much like a lot of people get heated, and his right wing comes out. There's a right wing version of me inside of myself, and it comes out. Like you push enough buttons or you threaten to take away enough rights, I might get a little yeehaw too. So I do understand why Joe Rogan is perceived that way. I still hold the belief that Joe Rogan is indeed centrist. I think he's a meathead and nobody should listen to him about lifestyle or diet or buy his vitamins or live the Onnit life or buy his kettlebell. I don't think you should buy his shit, but listen to him. I think he's a
now,
fine
here's where all
individual.
this effort to cancel Joe Rogan has
Everybody already knows that. I don't have to say that to my small audience. You guys have heard Joe Rogan. He reaches more people than any of the news we watch.
resulted in. He's bigger than ever. He's more powerful than ever. And all the press he's received, good, bad, ugly, has only resulted in more people like me who really never really listened to Joe Rogan's podcast before, now checking him out on a daily basis.
You're so
and
right.
more than a few are staying.
Because
It led to a lot of people checking the show out, which is weird that he actually has a bigger audience and that he's hopped to Spotify because of all the controversy. Part of me thinks that maybe some of it was drummed up by Spotify or pushed to the press by Spotify specifically to do that. I'm sure they lost some people when he moved from Spotify to YouTube. I know I never checked him out. I haven't checked him out on Spotify just because he moved platform. I like being able to get him on YouTube. I thought for a minute maybe they were going to do Twitch or something, but no. They went
I had never listened
Spotify.
to Rogan until maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I started hearing all this stuff about him because he was interviewing these doctors that were supposedly controversial. So I check him out. He's really interesting because all he does is ask good questions. And then all of a sudden they come after him, go for his throat, and they end up leaving the octagon, as I said, metaphorically. And this guy's stronger than ever. I think everybody needs to look at what happened this week with him and follow that playbook. Last word.
Precisely. Rush Limbaugh, they tried to cancel him. Howard Stern, they tried to cancel him, and they only got bigger. Rogan has created a bigger market for himself now. If Spotify were to fold, there's Rumble to pay $100 million to him, because in the end, greed, Jesse, works.
Yeah, he would get so many deals if Spotify fell apart, but no. Controversy's just gonna get people to Spotify. I'll tell you right now, I'm a musician, and my music is on Spotify, and out of respect for my brokenness, I keep my music on Spotify. I did, Oliver. I saw they pulled Rogan from commenting on fights last week. Oliver on Twitch just chimed in here on the multi-chat. We're back on Twitch, by the way. Welcome back. Hi, guys. I'm back. I did. I think it's some nonsense. I don't think it'll stick. I think everyone will be so upset. I think you have so many people from inside the UFC throw a fit that, he'll be back. I don't... I think his opinion is from a, when he is exploring on his show and when he's finding answers for himself, he's finding answers for himself. And I feel like a lot of his audience has lost the relativity. They're not realizing that the man who's looking for answers in front of you that you're watching, that's not you. That's a millionaire in Austin, Texas with his own vitamin and supplement empire. Like, you guys aren't going to have a lot in common. There's not going to be a whole lot of sitting down at the table with Joe Rogan where the two of you enjoy each other's company. Probably he will probably get bored of you. That's most people out there. Like, that's just lay people, entertainer, meathead entertainer, kind of interesting centrist stoner too. He's got a lot of interesting quirks about him that make what he's looking for not something people should cling to as if it's what you're looking for. And I've done that. I've held Joe Rogan in my mind. I've been so lost in 5-6 hours of podcast that I'm like, oh yeah, we're essentially the same guy. We couldn't be more different. From genetics to the way we look, our age. Joe Rogan's also older. While my audience is probably a little closer to Joe Rogan's age than my own age, he's probably not the person you should check out or listen. Like, the answers his exploration is meant to inspire you to go on your own, not take his as your own. And I don't think he necessarily understands that in the streaming world, a lot of people cling to that. They just put themselves on you in a weird way. And he's going to have to deal with like more repercussions from that than he ever thought he would. He's got the biggest audience of streamers ever had. And people get weird with their podcasters, man. They really feel like they know them, like they're friends. That shit gets creepy.
Greed is good. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Joe Rogan is unstoppable now.
All
Jesse.
right. Thank you very much, Joe.
I liked it when Joe Rogan had Dan Pena on. Dan Pena's kind of a nutty, financial guru. I don't know really what you call him. Financial grifter. He's selling his advice. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. And one of my favorite quotes from Dan Pena, he was taking a question from somebody in the audience and they disagreed with him, but Dan Pena's response was, and it was kind of truthful, he's like, that's why you're fucking poor. And I'll always remember that about Dan Pena, the specific quote, and that's why you're fucking poor. There's times where, in my opinion, where Joe Rogan's kind of right-wing conservative nature shows up is in the same place mine does, which is why I find him to be an endearing character. When it comes to a capitalist infrastructure, I believe in a strong competitive capitalist infrastructure. It's not that greed is good; it's that it's inevitable. Yeah. Oh, Oliver, yeah. It's comical to me that Fox News is using Joe Rogan to slam CNN. They always try a way to pull them in the picture to slam them, even if it's not about them. Yeah, exactly. Well, and CNN came after Joe Rogan, I feel like. I think that's a fair thing to say. I feel like they came after Joe Rogan in kind of an unfair way, but Joe is always good about hitting his social media as quick as he has a response in his head, and he gives a response, and it's normally they're always pretty solid. And I gotta say, his response to the Neil Young stuff, I thought was exactly what you should say. It's what I would have said most likely, which is like, hey, I'm just doing my best to have experts in the field on. And if you look at the people he booked to have on, Now, I personally miss Graham Hancock. I miss all the comedians. There's a whole lot of reasons I'm not watching the Joe Rogan Experience, and other than it being on Spotify and not on YouTube anymore. A big reason I dipped out was when he moved to Texas. I just noticed the comedians were more spread out, and it used to be, he was right there by the Comedy Store scene, so you could have Duncan Trussell, Theo Vaughn, Crystalia, Brian Callen, Brendan Shaw. You'd have all of them in like one week, and I missed the funny. I missed the comedy. And I don't like that he still has Ari Shaffir on after Ari Shaffir drugged Bert. I won't lie. I don't really like Ari Shaffir anymore. Boy, did that guy turn out to be a shitheel. He just seems unhappy and rotten to the soul. But yeah. Oh, very true. CNN didn't mention Fox once, and I probably heard Fox say CNN 10 times. Well, Oliver, it's funny because the numbers that they were throwing out and bashing everybody else with is their same failing. Like, Fox News also doesn't get near the plays Joe Rogan does. I think they might be leading in numbers for mainstream news, but that's because, in my opinion, a lot of people who own businesses with TVs in the lobbies insist on Fox News. I know where I used to work, the lobby had 4 TVs, I want to say, and for the most part they were on Fox News or sports. So, because I was working in the South. So now once you get to Missouri, Arkansas, and even further down south, if you go into a public lobby, it'll probably be on Fox News now instead of CNN, which a decade ago, lobby de facto TV, CNN on mute. And that's where CNN's numbers used to come from, like airports, But more and more places are playing Fox News on there. So their numbers their analytics are nonsense and caca, and we have something new now. We have podcasts, we have streams. I think the future of local and this big mainstream news is in streaming. You guys, we've watched hours of JB Buno with WFLA, and in my opinion, he's kind of cutting edge. You know, he's kind of ahead of the curve. Like, JB Buno will set up a 4-hour stream to cover a story that he know will bring attention to his network, and that's and build his credibility and build his portfolio. And now he has an actual rapport with the audience. That's cool as hell. JB Buno's, that's where the future of news and reporting, you know, in the future. Christy says, any peeps want to help move a couch? Lol, it's so heavy. I don't envy your task. I don't want to help move a couch today. Man, I had to move furniture out of some stupid places. Ranting about the lobby where I used to work and it always being Fox News. You know, there's that's the same job. I would have to move ridiculous furniture sometimes and move it across a property that's maybe like a mile long. But the only thing I'm driving is a golf cart. I load like a couch and a love seat and a whole bedroom set onto a golf cart.
I need this full grand piano moved out of a basement and into the 5th story, please.
Mm-hmm. Will that fit on the golf cart? I'm like, well, I am a hillbilly, so we can Beverly Hillbillies this. But someone's gonna have to sit on top of it. The only way I can balance that is if I get grandma on top.
It might fit, but I'm not sure that it'll be in good shape once we get there.
I've got some photos I'll try to put in the Discord of some of the impressive stacks I've had on my my golf cart. It's been crazy. What up, Twitch? We're back on Twitch, baby. Glad to see you guys popping in. Yeah. Selena's like, he's like, hashtag hey JB. I think the fact that people will remember hashtag hey JB, like that's the future of reporting right there. That guy's going to get a lot of credit here in 10 years for what he's done. If he doesn't, I'll be here giving him credit. Because that guy is reporting on things the way you should. The way you do it. That's the way you do it right there. What up, Parker? Oh, golf cart. Working off a golf cart, dude. In the middle of the winter. They wouldn't buy covers for the golf carts. So they just made us work in inhumane conditions, like out in the fucking ice in a golf cart. Like, hey, go drive half a mile in a golf cart and then move stuff around and then get back in the golf cart and then drive another half. What are you talking about? It's icy out and that's a golf cart. Will you buy a cover for it? No. Can I buy a cover for it? No. The fuck? Why? No. Hello, Dagny. Hi. No. Hello, Dagny. Oh, I can hear myself echoing in your Discord. Oh, there we go. How are you today, Dagny?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Oh, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Good to see some new life popping into the Hangout chat room. Some new life popping
I am so bad at Discord, so I'm just going to mute myself and listen.
You're good. Lurking's just fine. I like to hear from anybody whose name I don't necessarily recognize or feel like I haven't seen in a minute. So thank you for saying hi, though. I used to own a hold cart, but I crashed it into a hay bale. 100% was drinking. I've had a bunch of different... I've wrecked a lot of different equipment. Again, I've had a lot of weird moving tasks when I work for an apartment complex. Dollies, I've smashed so many dollies. Popped the tires on dollies, man. Messed them up. Yeah. been there, done that, man. And hate moving. More than anything. There's been a couple times I've moved with my father when I was younger, and he used to hate it. It was just a way he seemed upset the whole time he was moving. And it wasn't until I got older and was on like my 100th move that I was like, all right, I get why you hate it. I hate this. This is the worst. Oh, I used to have a golf cart. Yeah. I've had some squirrely stuff happen on a golf cart too. You know, I've spent so many hours on them. Yeah, I've had the brakes go out on it. And hit a tree, but like on purpose, where it's like, all right, I'm going to pop over a curb and slow down and then hit this tree and then do something. One time we had one that the gas pedal would I don't know, something, it would stick. I don't know what needed fixed on it, but I had to send it off to like the golf cart mechanic guy. But the gas pedal will just stay just floored. Like if you floored it, it might just stay there when you lift your foot back up. Oh man. Threw me into a tree. Threw coworker into a tree one time. This thing's crazy. Fun though. Fun. Congress is divided on a Russian sanction bill. I think I'm done with that level of news. We got anything popping in science news? Boy, no, that news cycle's moving slow. We've already seen. We got the James Webb satellite snaps some selfies.
Also this morning, NASA's new $10 billion telescope is now $1 million.
I don't want to hear about NASA spending $10 billion of my tax dollars. That's our satellite. Damn it. That's our telescope. Ugh.
Miles from Earth, and it snapped its first selfie from orbit. Check it out. NASA released the self-portrait along with several mosaic images from the James Webb telescope.
Looky there.
While gazing at its first star. The observatory was launched in December, and these photos are an early indication it is working properly. The telescope is expected to study the oldest and most distant objects in the universe.
Christy had a bunch of coyotes? A bunch of coyotes that were chasing you, threw the bacon overboard. That's probably for the best. What an interesting combo. Wild coyotes in a golf cart. You happen to have bacon with you. Drunk. That's interesting. I can't say I've ever had those variables happen to me all at one time. I've been on acid in a golf cart in Northern California, going back to a campground, and there weren't coyotes, but there was a very, very large guard dog that for some reason was trying to play with the golf cart, like bite the tires. But everybody in the golf cart was on acid, so we were like, "You gotta stop! Why are you trying to bite the tires?"
Seeing those images from space just never gets old, right, guys?
Yeah, never. That's so cool. I can barely get video back from, working on the VCR from back in the day. We're taking pictures from way in outer space.
Interesting.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel.
It's Al Roker. I know he's healthier now. Sometimes his appearance freaks me out a little bit. All right. Man, we covered it yesterday, Prince Andrew. Oof. Settled with Virginia. That's a bummer. World news. What do we got popping off in the world? Anything interesting? Oh, what was that?
Oh, I was so I remember I was telling you about the Hopewell and how they actually used iron objects, unlike we were taught in school, so on and so forth. Was it you I was discussing that with the other day?
Yes.
Well, also, I don't know if we put this up in conversation, but it's been proven that the Native Americans reached the Copper Age before anyone else in the world.
That's crazy. And then just kind of go back. Or just stay at Copper Age for
after they mastered it, they just kind of quit using it over time.
Oh.
And then eventually it just completely died out. So I don't know, like there were several like disasters, like with the Hopewell, for instance, there was like meteors exploding in the sky, and they think that's why their civilization wiped out.
Oh,
but
man.
Up in Michigan, maybe just the Smiths died without passing on the.
Yeah, maybe it was a sacred thing. Was it made from? Didn't you say it was made from like meteorite things? What up, John B?
The
Was
iron
that-
would have been made from meteorite. The copper would have been native copper that comes straight out of the ground pure.
Yeah. See, I wonder.
Hey, if
I wonder if
I may,
it's precious.
If I may, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
If
good.
I may slide my way in here for just a sec, I just got back from doing a death march to Food Lion, and boy, you guys are right. I was reading some of your statements about the grocery stores seem to be picked over for some reason. I don't get it. You know, they're missing a lot of stuff. But anyway, shelves are empty. I guess it's the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
So, got a few things on the docket. Told you guys that story about finding that ultra copy of the robot Maria, right?
Damn
So I'm gonna be
straight
working-
from Metropolis, dude. That sounds sick.
There she is right there. Okay. But, okay, I mean, I've had some tremendous run of luck around here. Let me tell you why. So this kit was not even supposed to get across the ocean from Japan or China for like another 3 or 4 months. I know who owns a hobby shop got a sample, and this is the kit right here, this Vampirilla. See that? That's what she's going to look like when it's finished. That's just artwork by Frank Frazetta again, by the way. Anyway, and then
Love it.
I went into a bookstore and I found this bad boy for $6, man. Deadpool.
Oh.
And I haven't put him together at all yet, but this is basically the part. Oh, sorry, dropped the phone. Anyway, that's the parts right there. So yeah, I'll let you see better when I start building it. So I got a few things on the docket, you know, but I have to work. So just wanted to drop in and say, hey, man.
Heck
you know,
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
So anyway, I'm going to go back off, though, because I am really dead from this walk to the grocery store. Although I did make a smart move, and I took my backpack so I could put stuff in there. But you carry a couple of 2-liter sodas home in a backpack, I feel like I've been carrying a person on my back.
Well,
So
that's a
anyway,
workout. Yeah.
It's like having Yoda on your back, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm out of here, but you guys have a great day, and I'll be listening, okay?
Hey,
And
take it
whenever-
easy, Jumpy.
Yeah. Are you still on the YouTube?
Yes. Still on YouTube, on Twitch, and Facebook again.
You know, I know you are, but I meant particularly today, right? You're going to be on.
Oh
Are you on now?
yeah. I should be on for the next like 3 hours.
Sweet. All right, I'm in, man. Catch you later.
Heck yeah, we'll talk to you here in a bit, my man. Oh man. Ooh. Native American culture. Justin and I don't know if any of it got on any of the streams. I think this might have been our conversation off stream, but man, do I wish we had less pillars and nonsense in our American iconography and more Mesoamerican art included, or a blending of multiple cultures. Surely I did that in the stream. That might have been our conversation off air. But Stanislav Suklowski. Selena asked in the chat if we've seen the recreation video, and I have pulled up here from Fox Live Now what looks like something with a clip of it. Here we
to Los
go.
Angeles, a big event going on right here where we have attorneys.
Was a massive issue.
Oh, so they drop a bunch of evidence that it was... All right, hold on. I'm trying to find just this straight up... Here we go. Reenactment. Apparently...
Details are emerging around the incident which saw Alec Baldwin accidentally shoot cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Here's what we know so far. The .45 caliber Colt revolver that killed Helena Hutchins on the set of Rust was not thoroughly checked, according to
Lots
a
of
new profile
coyotes there,
cited
huh?
by Reuters. Assistant Director David Halls said that when Armando
Beavers
Hanna
too,
Gutierrez
Christy. That
showed
makes
him the
sense.
firearm, he could
Beaver.
only remember seeing 3 rounds and couldn't recall if she spun the drum before he told those on.
We have beavers where I'm from in Arkansas, but let me tell you, every time I've seen one, it freaks me the hell out. Justin, you ever gotten accustomed to the sight of a beaver?
No, they're just rare enough that
Yeah.
they'll freak you out. Now, porcupines, that's the weird one when I run into them.
That's weird as hell. That my brain's like bush, movie bush, danger bush.
What's wrong with that sick groundhog? Oh wait, that's not a groundhog.
Yeah, like no, oh, mutant. Oh man. I have a video on my phone of a mole running across a parking lot, and I could not comprehend what it was for like the first 30 seconds of the video. Like, what am I filming? Oh, that's a mole. Whoa. Christy, 2 military helis flew over your house yesterday. Black helicopter. I'm trying to make some helicopter noises. They got the black copters coming after you, Chris. It's because we're occasionally watching InfoWars together. Canada don't like it. They're done with it. 2 military helis though. That sounds like the opposite of employing military personnel in Canada, Trudeau. What's up with that? I wonder if do you live near a base? I wonder what that's about.
On set that it was cold. In court documents,
Because he said he wasn't going to put any military force in Canada's borders after revoking the Emergency Powers Act. It's like something he specifically said he wasn't going to do in that speech yesterday, if I recall correctly. And Christy in Canada saying she saw 2 military helis fly over her house.
indicated does not contain live rounds and handed it to actor Alec Baldwin. Santa Fe Sheriff Adan Mendoza has since said a suspected live round killed Hutchins, despite Armora Gutierrez telling investigators no live ammo was ever kept on set. As investigators look to explain this, CNN notes that Gutierrez told investigators that while firearms were secured inside a van, ammo was left on a cart on the set, while the Rap reports that the gun which killed Hutchins was used by crew members earlier that morning for live ammunition target practice.
What the
Additionally,
hell?
the Los Angeles Times reports that Baldwin's stunt double previously fired 2 rounds accidentally, though the newspaper did not specify.
Yo, Justin, did you hear what Chrissy just said in the chat? Porcupines sleep in trees here to get off the snow, and if you walk under them, they will jump on your head. Pardon? Pardon? That's frightening.
If these were live or blanks, while the BBC notes the assistant director had been fired from a previous job after another incident with a prop gun unexpectedly discharging. The Los Angeles Times reports that crew members had walked off set over issues with working conditions. There were no safety meetings. There was no assurance that it wouldn't happen again. All they wanted to do was rush, 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 one crew member said. As investigations continue, the incident joins the most famous death caused by a prop gun, that of actor Brandon
Crow,
Lee, who was killed while filming a scene in which his co-star fired a blank cartridge at him. There, the film crew had made a mistake by not double-checking the gun's...
One thing I love about Special Guest, one of the most endearing, close-to-me characters from my childhood was my maternal grandfather. You'll hear us refer to him as Guzzlebang. He had a bit of an alcohol problem, and he loved firearms. But he was an engineer. He was a engineer. He was a tool maker. He was a machinist. He made things. He could make anything, I felt like, as a kid. And as an adult, I felt like he could make anything. If my glasses broke, he'd keep the old frames, make a mold out of them, and just melt down some plastic, pour some new frames or something. Like, it was bizarre. Like, he was a tool maker. We didn't necessarily... He'd make a whole set of Allen wrenches by hand, by himself. I've got a set stash somewhere that he made as a younger man. But Special Guest, one thing I love about Special Guest is when he talks about firearms or the mechanisms in which... especially when we're talking about the legality of firearms in particular, when it's like, what does that mechanism they're trying to ban do? Special Guest is good at verbally setting up almost a representation like this in my head. I thought this is almost a perfect visual analog for how well Special Guest can explain the mechanics and inner workings of a firearm. Man has a knack for it.
barrel before loading it with a blank cartridge.
Reminds me of my grandfather. But when he talks about the mechanics of a firearm. Oh man. Death by selfie, risking it all for the likes from 6 days ago. What, Banfield? What? I'm going to hit a quick break real quick. I have to use the restroom and get some more tea. So I'll be back here in like 2 minutes, gang. I'm going to mute in Discord. But you guys stay hanging out. Be right back. Oh yeah, we're back. Something I have on the agenda today is I need to know what the next true crime in chat is. The next true crime and chat. I want there to be crowd support and input. And if you're liking our true crime streams, feel free to either leave a comment on the true crime streams or let me know in the chats during the hangout, like, what the next one should be about. I'm going to do a bunch of one-off episodes before we find another thing that inspires me to do like a 5-day, 5-part true crime thing. So, just so everyone knows, I'm back on the true crime scene, but I'm looking. I'm looking for the right thing. Looking for the right thing. Oh my goodness, I've got all the burps today. Burp on mic. Ooh, Biden orders release of Trump's White House visitor logs for January 6th.
The president has ordered the National Archives
Play this first. I'm gonna close this window. I'm getting the
White House
chills.
visitor logs for January 6th to Congress, rejecting his predecessor's claims that they are subject to executive privilege. The panel probing the attack on the U.S. Capitol has requested logs for White House visitors on that and other days.
There we go.
As
It's
well as other
cold
Trump-era
today.
records. Last month, the Supreme Court rejected Mr. Trump's bid to block the release of the records.
You all right, Bloomberg Quick Take? Bloomberg Quick Take is so weird.
May have been that. I can check if there's anything different than that.
Beyond that,
Put this press conference on. Be good Americans about it. We'll listen to the press conference. We'll be in the room where it's happening. But I'm going to turn it down a little bit because I want to talk to Justin about true crime and ghosts or cryptids, because that also, in my opinion, falls under the realm of true crime and chat. And you know what we need to commit a whole week to, honestly? Skinwalker Ranch still.
Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of cryptids and the like, I got a new band name.
Ooh, what?
Mama Biggie and the Three Little Feet.
I like it. I want it as a bumper sticker really bad. Oh, Bigfoot family? Has that already been done? Bigfoot family stickers? Ooh.
I mean, you could probably find someone who makes it on Etsy.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, Etsy. Etsy's got everything. You find Chris Chan statues on Etsy.
Yeah, that's like the easiest place for me to find like weird blacksmithing stuff.
Really?
Yeah, you can actually get a lot of metal stock from Etsy because it's considered a craft. Even if they're just making the blank bars and the ingots, they're still making it. So.
Yeah, as well. Hey, some people, you know, when you've like carbon scored some metal and like barred it out like that, yeah, you crafted that. Like that's a bitch to do.
Especially like Damascus and stuff like that. I mean, that's like, you know, when you're folding a piece of metal over 2,000 times, that's a craft. That's work.
That's
That's
work.
art.
Yeah, that's work. I don't care if it's in bar form by the end. Like that. Yeah. Why does it cost so much? Because it took me fucking hours. VC text chat channel. We got some photos from Christy. What do we got here? That's a porcupine in a tree, and it looks honestly like a really big burr. Like it made my foot hurt. Made my little Arkansas kid foot hurt. It made me say, "Oh man, a burr."
Oh, dang it.
Oh dang it! Hellfire. Ooh, black helis. Riders on the strikes. Copyright strikes. I can't sing The Doors. Those are those Yeah, I mean, I'd say those are military helicopters. We need special guest on that one. That's we need to let me see if I can't just reply here and just go ahead and put let's see.
They've been test driving or test flying so many drones and stuff due to the military base around here.
Yeah. See,
I'm seeing way more drones than I used to.
Is indeed rolling out. It would seem, but no press. Thank you, Christy. Yeah, that is relevant to special guests. Will be interested in that because again, we watched Trudeau say yesterday he's not rolling any military out or doing anything to like beef it up on any of the civilians in Canada or anything like that, or any civilian areas. Are you near a border, Christy? Are you near an Air Force base or anything? But she got the black helicopters, baby. And I'm feeling it. Probably shouldn't conspiracy chub part 2. We do have to name the episode today. Which is the only bit for every one of them. I thought about checking on Alex Jones again today, but I bet you he's still just on about the Freedom Convoy and vitamins. Ooh, thick Biggie. Should we do a true crime Nah, I sexualize Bigfoot too much. I don't think I can cover Bigfoot without sexualizing it, so I don't know if it's right for true crime and chat. But Skinwalker Ranch and all of the actual legitimate crime and police reports behind the Skinwalker Ranch, like, we could fill some time. Like, I'm ready to roll on that. I know that Arianthe has a video we could cross promote. And do you have a script about bottle trees?
She was talking about it.
Okay, you have a script for, is it Skinwalker? What do you got a script for? You got a script for something. I heard about it.
She's got a whole video for Skinwalker, and she's working on a script for the bottle tree last time I talked to her.
Okay. Because we're going to, we can, so you guys know, I want to do, that's, in my opinion, falls into the realm of true crime, just like cults and stuff. If there's a police report, it's true and it's crime.
So apparently, I sent you the link about the cult that makes plant music. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Damon Her or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, their complex is now 5 stories below into the mountain.
Whoa. They're going
and they
full.
started all of this by hand. They've been doing all of this like stonework and excavation by like hand, by the looks of it.
That's crazy. They're going Dwarves of the Deep. They okay. The documentary Holy Hell on Netflix. It was made by CNN, but it's a documentary about the Buddha Field cult. And they ended up building some crazy stuff for this guy. Like a whole theater venue. Like they built this whole beautiful cathedral-esque theater venue. And only they performed in it and were the audience. It's so weird. Like,
sounds like Jehovah's Witnesses almost.
Yeah, it does sound like Jehovah's Witnesses. Man. Man, I'm still reeling and really processing and took a lot from Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning's spiritual deconstruction, man. Like,
I need to rewatch that. It's been a while.
Dude, think it's really cool. You know, I knew a lot of people who were raised evangelical. You know, and I've had some friends who loved me dearly and were really concerned about my relationship with Jesus. And it always meant a lot to me.
I might have been one of those people.
It always meant a lot to me. It was always one of those indicators that this is a good person to me. And
So long as they just didn't talk to you about hell the whole time.
yeah, I've had, if people are saying I'm going to hell like over and over, it's like, why do you think that? You know, like, that's just hurtful. But people who genuinely would voice a concern, like, well, have you thought about a relationship with Jesus? Like, if they specifically use like almost like the evangelical kind of Christian terminology, and it's like, it's always from a place of care, and I've always found that type of character endearing. And it has been weird how, you know, when I got older, that generation, it's like they either broke with that church or that belief system, or they stuck with it and went hella conservative coincidentally. And just again, the statistics that Rhett says on this on the Ear Biscuits podcast about white adult male evangelicals and what they are the majority of when it comes to certain issues that we have socially, like, it's unfortunate. Like, it's unfortunate it evolved into adulthood for a lot of people of my generation, like, where there were so many good people. So many good people. Like, you're drawn into that for genuinely a good reason. And I don't know. I've just been thinking about it a lot. I think that religion is a really confusing thing, and it's a really divisive thing. And I think what most people want, who are looking for the evangelical, who end up in the evangelical church, and why their kids are leaving en masse, their kids, they just, what they want is a healthy relationship with their Messiah or with their God, and they're not getting it there anymore. And I don't know. Makes me want to open up a damn universal church of whatever the hell you want to do in this center building. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a theological center, but you can just rent time here. I don't care what you do or preach, as long as it's not extremist or evangelical. I don't know. It's so strange. Religion is a tough one. They found a way to do it on their podcast, man. I found that hella endearing, and it added a lot of context to their early stuff, man. Good Mythical Morning, those guys, their comedy is clean comedy, clean.
The most clean.
I am so envious of it. They don't have to, like, for the most part, they don't have to deal with any of the old women like, you curse too much. And it's like, I'm really not trying to. It's just how I speak, madam. And it's how I like to communicate with the crowd.
A range of impacts of, in anticipation.
I don't want people to take me
Also,
seriously.
it's not like you're literally just cussing every other word. I mean, you still speak intelligently. That's really where I draw the line.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you still speak intelligently while you're cursing, then who cares if you're cursing?
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like there's, like, I'll use it sometimes. Like, I'll go on a rant, no cursing, and then I'll drop an F-bomb at the very end, very loud, just to make a point. Like, I'm trying to draw attention to what I'm mad about. I keep it out of the first 10 minutes now, and try to be better about it, just because I know it opens you up to a better demographic and more potential financially if you are a little bit cleaner. But I'm also holding a bong right now, which is me segueing into reminding the audience that where I live, it is recreationally legal to smoke marijuana. And if you see me smoking marijuana on this stream, I am doing it legally. And not just medically, but recreationally as well. I have my medical card, and it's a recreational state. Smoke them if you got them, if it's legal. If it's legal.
That criticism that she hews too, or has hewed too closely to corporate interests.
Well, I think with some of the criticism I've seen out there, if you look at South Carolina, the AFL in South Carolina endorsed her and has been.
But I really want to do a series where I talk with people who have changed faiths or grew up, you know, in either something extremist or something crazy or something, you know. I feel like I know a lot of people who had religious backgrounds and, you know, came
no
to
one was down for that one.
Exactly. I mean, our conversation, when we get talking about religion, it's always my favorite part of the day. When it comes to talking to friends, like, and it's not anything anyone has asked for necessarily on YouTube. You know, I think we've had one upset troll who's like hidden from the channel, who like tried to interrupt some true crime asking me about Jesus or something, like once. But you know, we've gone off on a religious rant before. I've kind of explained my thoughts on God, but I would love to just be more open and hear people's experiences, because it's, I don't know, it's doing something to me. It's interesting. I feel like there's a genuine need for a place to talk about it rationally and be able to process it openly.
Well, it's hard to move forward if you've got all these different players going in opposite directions.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, I'd love to talk to somebody who's even hateful against religion. I mean, you know, I don't keep a lot of anti-theists in my life, just because most anti-theists I've come across have been kind of like just outwardly hateful or like needlessly.
So long as they don't treat religion as a whole as a mental illness, I'm pretty good with it.
Yeah.
Just so long as they're not dicks, just like I am with any religion. So long as you're not a dick, we're cool.
Yeah, a lot of them that I knew turned into outward communists. So, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fairly common.
Yeah, like they want an atheist state, and my disabled ass would have no place in their system. I'd be in a ditch. Being not just disabled, but a theist. So, I don't know. It's a whole thing.
And the type of theist they tend to take punches at first, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, some of our greatest minds were theists. And, you know.
Yeah, like all of the old world's greatest thinkers would have been, you know, polytheists.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, you even have somebody in our kind of modern context who's like, in our lifetime we saw relativity change in status. You know, we can kind of show physical examples of relativity in a way that makes sense to us with how we've explored space now. And you know, Einstein always left room for a god. Always. You know, he was a creationist. That's what he said. That's anytime there was a debate that came up or he seemed like he was on the other side, he would promptly let people know, no, I'm a theist.
He had that old school view where he was trying to figure out the mechanics of God, it seems.
Yes. Yes. What are the actual rules to this seemingly ineffable game? What are the actual rules to the universe? What is the actual... He wanted to see the cogs the best he could, in my opinion. And I, you know, you see that a lot in Jewish people. That's, you know, what draws people to things like the Zohar and Kabbalism, is I want to know in a multifaceted way and broadly, as well as dissect the individual aspects of how the universe works. How God itself moves. How ideas can be born into motion, which you can turn into substance in front of you. Like, that's genuinely what people, I feel like, particularly in the realm of like Jewish physicists, that's what they're wanting. That's what they want. They want to see the world like how Superman describes he sees the world. you know, be able to see through things and see the molecular interchanging of things, have, you know, not just sight beyond sight, but a mechanical understanding of the universe. And again, like, you can have all of those things and a God at the same time. You can make incredible innovations while also still believing in a God. You can move through science while still being a theist. And not being a crazy one either. Not being like one of those strange Jesuit cats. Or like the Christian scientists that reject medicine. Sometimes that scares me because, again, I think there's some medicines that are necessary, and it's because you're counteracting something that's been boosted because of man-made things. Like, once you're in the realm of fighting things that have mutated to combat, like a vaccine we've made, well, you need a vaccine. You're not going to make anything that fights the thing. Like, you know.
If humans made it, it's technically natural.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. I like that too.
Humans are part of nature, regardless of what we want to believe.
Yeah, I mean that's my personal belief is that, you know, that's the universe in motion. We're a part of it, absolutely, and yeah, that's nature. That's, if we can innovate it and think it. If somebody brought it from thought to the mortal realm, then it's here. You know, it's here and it's meant to be here. Every word has its place. Every word in the universe has its place. Let's see here. Closest border to Christie is 7 hours. Closest base is about 3 hours. Yeah, so you don't commonly see black helicopters just squat up like that, do you? That's interesting, Christie. That's interesting. Something's up with that. Like, something's really going on with that. That's weird. Oh! Stretch it out. But I don't even know how I would begin to do a theology. I'd probably just start a new channel for it. For theology videos. I don't know. I don't know how I would do it. I really don't. I don't know if it'd be all right for this channel. I already do so much divisive content. That one might. I've already been pretty openly theist, so I don't know. It'd be fine. But I also wouldn't mind doing it under a different pseudonym. You know what I mean? Like, just a whole different pseudonym.
Make a
channel.
round table discussion kind of thing, and just have it be, you know, you're just one of the people on the channel, not necessarily the face of the channel.
Exactly. Exactly. Or even just a damn cartoon head in Discord that, you know, talks to other people on camera. Like, strictly off camera interviewer kind of channel. But Murky's might have to dig for that. I'm just kidding. You better believe I'd share it in the Discord. Now I'm back to plug in the Discord. Discord link in description, guys. Looks like we have a new member, Dagny. Has Dagny been here? I don't remember. I don't remember you. If you have, but welcome.
The strongest economic growth this country has seen in nearly 40 years. So there's a lot we're going to be.
Had a good true crime in chat last night, Justin. I know it was definitely after hours for you. Had to have been. Because I was tired as hell.
That old person sleep schedule.
Hell yeah. I'm trying to get back onto that because I like streaming early. I get more plays if I stream earlier. And stay kind of on the news cycle and work with, I don't know, kind of beat the algorithm that way. But it's been weird for me post-COVID. And now I'm still kind of staying fluid for a job that might be entertainment related, so I'm having to stay kind of fluid. Weird. But I'm liking how true crime in chat is going, and I like the idea of maybe, like, that was a cool dry run on like someone else having a presentation
continuing to review mask guidelines.
and I'm hella down for that format. So, just so you know, if there's ever anything in the realm of true crime, cryptids, conspiracy, anything like that, that you even have a series of links on that you want to screen share, we can do a true crime and chat on it. That goes for Justin, and if anybody else wants to propose one, hop in Discord, let me get to know you. Let's talk about it. Pop in here, let's talk about it now if you want. There's a lot of active cases right now, but the one that has me most interested is Daryl Brown. The manhunt, as far as I know, still ongoing manhunt. And I don't know if you can call it a manhunt. Brian Laundrie, that was a manhunt. Dog the Bounty Hunter showed up. Daryl Brown, as far as I know, he's just. Where's the Discord link? It is in the description, Selena, of the YouTube video. So if you go down to the description, it should be there. But yeah, Daryl Brown, he murdered an entire family and then set a home on fire. It's such a strange case, and I feel like I could build a timeline. I could at least do a Mondo true crime and chat stream about it. For sure, Selena.
But the president has indicated in the past that he does look to California on these issues. So if California were to institute stricter standards, say on either heavy-duty vehicles, something that the administration would seriously consider mirroring.
It's a good question, but I don't have anything to predict.
Not a problem, Selena. You get bonus points if you let us hear your voice to verify that you're real. So you can pop in the Hangout. I'm not sure if there's still a timer when you join the Discord. But hop in the Hangout sometime.
Does he support Governor Newsom's decisions to drop the universal mask mandate in California, even as mask?
Regulars on the stream turn into mods and admins and people like Alley Cats who kind of lead a show. I really hope Alley Cats gets a channel rolling, and I think she's onto it with her apps, and she has a good looking presentation. So I know us here at Merc Radio, we got her back with a soundtrack for sure. I'm kind of soundtrack and editing in post. If you guys anybody wants to send me raw video to edit, I don't mind doing that for you. If you're part of the Discord and part of the family. I love it. I love helping people create, man.
That's all the detail I have for you.
Afghanistan. This week marks 6 months since the withdrawal from Afghanistan. From this podium,
This marks 6 months since our withdrawal from Afghanistan. Any statement on why heroin is so bad
Sullivan told us
right now,
that the commitment to allies there is sacrosanct.
and immediately after we pulled out?
The administration committed to doing everything it could to get our allies out, but tens of thousands of allies, hundreds of thousands, if you include families, including the SIV, people in the pipeline are still there and struggling. What exactly is the administration doing to get them out? Because on the ground...
Right, Debbie? Allie did great. Debbie checked it out. Yeah, you guys be sure to check out the most recent True Crime and Chat. I made a new playlist for True Crime and Chat because I want to do more of them. And I want everyone to be involved. I want to hear your opinions, your theories. I'll probably be in, if it's something like last night where we have Allie Cattails kind of running the show and kind of answering our questions and running us through a timeline, you might see me respond to you in text chat. Only because I don't want to interrupt, and I'm, listening to both of you. I'm getting better at multitasking in this kind of streaming climate. You got to read and talk at the same time, and then sometimes hop over into proper host mode and read a news article off the screen, which, boy, am I not good at that. I got to rehearse for it. If I have a script, I got to read that sucker first. I'm not on SNL, baby. I'm not an improv. I'm not a...
ground and from Congress, my sources say they think...
So,
you're doing nothing.
I love you, Ride or Dies, for sticking through how rough this stream can be.
I can get you the specific number, but I believe it's hundreds, depart from Afghanistan. Partners, allies, people who have stood by our side since we withdrew from Afghanistan at the end of August. We've worked in partnership with allies and partners in the region, including the Qataris, where we have our diplomatic presence. We are the largest contributor of humanitarian assistance of any country in the world, which we continue to provide through proven third-party aid organizations as well.
And you know, I hope we draw in some of that true crime audience with that Summer Wells episode. Let's go ahead and maybe hop down that as a, let's see if there's been anything popping in just true crime news. What's been going on in the last day or so? Whoa. All right. The Sinfluencer of Soho. Whoa. Follow home robberies.
This morning, police are trying to identify a third suspect they say was involved in a pair of follow home robberies. In December, a man was robbed.
Gang violence is getting out of hand, guys. Like, this is crazy. And I know I go on the same stimulus check rant every time there's gang violence. I know someone's probably already building a compilation of me saying stimulus check. But I genuinely think there would be less follow home robberies and smash and grabs and train heists if maybe the government would issue a stimulus. If you're going to issue a mandate, issue a stimulus check.
Waiting for an elevator inside a downtown LA parking structure. A few hours later, they struck again. This time in Calabasas, when the victim refused to give up his stuff, he was assaulted. Now, one suspect has been arrested. The man on the left, though, police say is still on the loose. They say his name is Ken Bonds, and they need your help identifying the person on the right. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to an arrest.
Huh. Well. All right. Okay. Oh, man. Rams house. The party continues ahead of Super Bowl victory parade. What? The Rams supporters are still partying? Damn. Oh, the Beaumont shooting in Los Angeles. This is crazy. So if you go true crime news on YouTube and just kind of go to the latest day, this is just crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's that Daryl Roberts case that's had me lately. Or that new Doctor Strange trailer. Did y'all see that Doctor Strange trailer? Justin, did you happen to catch that Doctor Strange trailer?
No, I hadn't seen it yet.
Okay, so did you see the Loki series? Are you a fan of the MCU?
I just don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't been able to watch any of that stuff yet.
We need to find a way to hook you up. Oh, right on, Selena. Hey, take your time. No rush, no pressure. But man, okay. Spoiler alert, it gets multiversal. I'm sure you've seen that in the news. There's a Marvel multiverse. And this Doctor Strange film is titled Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We're going to get variants of Doctor Strange. We're going to get all kinds of stuff, man. Speculation is hot right now on who is going to be in this new Doctor Strange film. And it's all seemed pretty rational. Like, I know there's a script leak out there somewhere, but I'm not going to read it. Because I found too many, like, actual script leaks on accident and been like, oh, this is probably fake, but a good read. And then I go see a movie and I'm like, well, damn it. If that was the script leak, And it's lame. But, you know, definitely with what they're doing with this multiverse arc, you know, way better than what they had going on with Eternals, man. I watched Eternals this last weekend, I want to say. Everything just looked like marble countertops, like with gold leaf etched over design. Like, it was weird. It was such a weird vibe for a film that I really missed what they were doing with the Disney Plus TV shows. Loki was a really good show, and you know, Tom Hiddleston, it was announced, is going to be in this Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And I love what he's done with the character of Loki and what they did in that series. You know, you don't even have to bring up Owen Wilson to really start fangirling about how good Loki was. Which is saying something, because, you know, you bring up Owen Wilson, it's like, well, that's what I want to fangirl about. That's, you know, that, oh yeah, Owen Wilson's in the MCU now. And it's great. Ooh. Ooh. 50 minutes ago. You know, we've been following the Prince Andrew news. Algorithm be damned. We followed the Ghislaine Maxwell trial cryptically because I made some videos titled The Ghislaine Maxwell Trial, and YouTube said, no, sir. Hell no. And I'm like, I'm just watching the news. And they're like, no. I'm like, you can monetize that. And they're like, no, not this time. So we're going to continue that trend, and we're going to keep on cryptically following a few different news stories.
One settlement that was made
Don't tell anybody.
Was Giuffre's 2009 settlement with Jeffrey Epstein that was for $500,000. So the settlement, the fact that the settlement is many, many multiples higher, speaks to the credibility of the victims. Remember, prosecutors in Southern Florida declined to put victims on the stand, like Giuffre, when they first investigated Jeffrey Epstein, because of concerns about their credibility. And I think the size of this settlement, you know, if it is in fact that high, and the recent conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell speaks to the fact that, you know, these women's voices are being believed and being taken very seriously, particularly when you contrast it to the original settlement, you know, more than a decade ago. So that is a significant impact. Although certainly, you know, the public and other victims would have liked to have learned more about Prince Andrew in this case and about the allegations.
Yeah, and Keir, I mean, if you literally look at the case, it was that photo, right, of the prince and Giuffre that came in many ways to symbolize the larger story. What else can you tell us about this settlement and what's being said about it across the pond?
Well, Chris, one thing you can say.
See, Popcorn Planet Wood. I don't know if you've heard me kind of rant about what's his name, Signor. Look, I really liked movie fights, and I'm really mad that Signor couldn't keep it in his pants long enough to keep that channel going, because I love Signor's old channel. I loved it. I loved movie fights. I loved their daily breakdowns for like AMC theaters or whatever. Like, I watched so much of that dude's content before his canceling, and you know, I couldn't come back afterward. And it's mostly because I don't like his new format, but I do a similar thing. So that's probably why. I don't know. But I might check out Popcorn Planet. I don't know.
About the British tabloid press, and many people don't like them, but they will.
He just typically like, you'll get like Doomcock and stuff like that. Rins, my dude.
We'll keep pushing on this, and so just to show you some of the front pages of the newspapers here, they have different reports on how much money exactly it is. The Daily Mail has £10 million humiliation.
Hello, Mark.
Newspaper,
hello, everybody.
12 million.
My buddy, dude.
I want to be a little bit quiet for 15 minutes. I want to listen to you. I don't know what the subject is, so I don't want to talk bullshit to you guys.
You're fine, Renz. I'm doing this thing called the Hangout now, and there's no format. You can come in and interrupt if you want. You can hang out. We've been talking about. I was just kind of going off on like a Marvel rant. I'm excited for the new Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
and we've been cryptically covering the Ghislaine Maxwell trial and the Prince Andrew stuff because YouTube doesn't
nice.
like it. But
Yeah, but we need to use YouTube like a hooker. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Use it, abuse it, and don't trust anything but yourself.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was going off on that earlier in the stream. I was actually thinking about you because we're both fans of people like Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? And like I don't think Joe Rogan is racist. I'm sure you've heard the podcast where he's used the N-word before.
Oh, yeah.
And while the social cues, while it's not a good like I don't use it, and he doesn't now. But like you gotta accept his apology. You know what I mean? Like I genuinely believe his apology. I don't think I don't think he's racist. I think he's he's explaining his experience.
One question: If somebody is dark and he is your brother, like you are best friends, then he's your nigger and you're his nigger. That's the same thing if you are if you use it like Dave Chappelle tells you that, and don't use it like. The same thing, we have some words here in the Netherlands, and they are, if you use the word cancer in a sin, in a sentence, then, somebody was correct. Here.
Yeah. Oh, Selena had the same reaction I did. Yeah. Be careful using that word. Please do not use that word on this channel. But I know you didn't mean to. I know that English is also like your second language. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not my no. I don't. I have a brother. His name is Erwin. His nickname is Eppo, and he is from Sri Lanka, and he is my brother. And when we were kids, we didn't know what black or white was. So we are kids now, and he's my brother, and we never used the N word. I don't want to say it again, but the thing is, when we are together, he nicknames me like Stinky. He nicknamed me like a Big Nose. You look like a bald Jew. I don't know. He's not black, but brown. But he is making fun of my big nose, my big ears, my plat foots, my feet or foots. I don't know. My X paws. And self-spot is the best thing in life. My mother died 2 years ago, and she told me never forget to laugh.
Yeah.
And that's fuck everybody's opinion, because it doesn't matter what you and I think.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of bullshit to frame Joe in a way small children do. Yeah. And CNN and also YouTube and every channel that if we want to share stuff on Instagram, it's the same COVID restriction stuff on photos. We are done with that. Fuck that bullshit. I want to know what's going on, and I want to hear people who tell the truth. And that's the same thing. Yeah.
And speaking of that, of the COVID restrictions, moving over to Canada, just catching you up with what we've kind of talked about on the stream today. Christy, our Canadian Murky, she saw some black military helicopters uncharacteristically fly over her home after this emergency powers thing. And Trudeau said he wasn't going to run military in the Canadian borders in his speech. So I'm calling caca nonsense.
Yeah, but we here in Holland, we are I truck 4 days a week, and every Wednesday I have off, and I have my normal weekends off. So I have a luxury that I only have to work 4 days a week. I'm 35, and it's but other friends of mine, they have they own a truck, and they work for bigger with it. So they go to The Hague, that's the capital here, and they go into the capital to stand their ground. They don't want to be used anymore. No more. Enough is enough. And the whole world is seeing it, but nobody does a fuck. Nobody does anything. And that's sometimes it's what I think. What is going on? We are in the afterburner of our money system.
Financial issue.
Yeah, and it's all we are in a time frame now. Everything what we see, we aren't used to see the amount of information. Like 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, my mom and dad didn't use Facebook. We used Facebook to photobomb each other with drunk pictures, and we were hangover stuff. You had 40 friends on Facebook, and it was epic. It was a beginning. I used Facebook when it was when they were a few months off from the start, and yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
So weird that algorithms and all those kind of stuff are there are a lot of stuff and things going on, and that's weird.
Yeah, there really is. I'm a little confused with the Canadian thing. I'm interested to hear more from our Canadian friend on the ground, and hopefully we make some new Canadian friends on the ground too, and can kind of hear what's going on across that nation, because boy, is that crazy. That is crazy as all hell. Right now we're catching up on, I mean, look, there's the Prince Andrew lawsuit, right? For SA. They settled for an undisclosed amount of money, and then his initial statement was that he's going like full on into donating into charities and into victims' rights work. And I don't think that any victims want to hear that from Andrew. I think they would have rather seen him face some justice. But here's my thing. Yesterday's episode was titled Conspiracy Chub, and it's because I think we might be on the same page as Alex Jones with the Ukraine crisis being a bit of a cover-up or a media information barrage to mask some of these stories, like Prince Andrew, or we have a whole bunch of stuff going on in the United States right now that's not getting press. That's
no, they want to make look Putin bad, but Putin, if you look in the history of the Ukraine and how the Europe was before the war, and it's I love Russian people. They are very humble and kind and hard workers. So we are afraid of beautiful people. So fuck it. The normal Russian dude is a normal guy. He's not a bastard.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get blinded with their kind of
fear.
Their kind of fear of in America, even in my childhood, Russians were typically a bad guy in like a cartoon or in media or in some kind of in anything, really whoever politically we're against, they're the bad guy. So, Special Guest, that was exclusively the bad guy when he was a kid.
But that's the problem that we are, and now we have each other on the internet, and we can share information and tell the truth. Because if you look in the UFC, Khabib is a very humble guy, and he's a weirdo. But every UFC fighter is a weirdo.
Yeah.
But they are human too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they alienize those kind of people.
Yeah, AT Garden makes a good
Yeah.
point in the chat. He says holdover from the Cold War. Yeah, it's a fear that's a holdover from the Cold War. Selena bringing up the black helicopters over Christie's house says they might be running exercises, training in preparation for domestic extremism risks, perhaps. We know that there's white supremacy links to the Canadian truckers' protests, after all. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've not researched it too deep, only because I don't like that kind of stuff in my algorithm necessarily, in my Google algorithm. White supremacy stuff, but it sounds like there might be. It sounds like there might be. But he did promise, but he did say he wasn't doing that. I thought, but maybe they were planned exercises. I don't know. I'm sure we'll see. And it's another thing, kind of like the death of Bob Saget, where it's like there will be conspiracy for forever. It really doesn't matter what I look into or what I say. I think there's going to be conspiracy and kind of a on the fence about some things for forever. And I think those black helicopters are going to be one, because I don't know. I think I'm on the fence. Like, why the hell? It's something she's not used to seeing.
Conspiracy is always going on.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. There's always an angle on something. We can check on Alex Jones, but let's see.
If you watch Infowars, are lefties going to charge you because you like Alex Jones? I don't like Alex Jones. It's way too. He's too hyper for 3 minutes. It's okay, but then I'm off.
We're normally just riffing on the guy. We're normally just making fun of him. Is why YouTube normally,
I don't say he's stupid, because I don't.
He's been right a few times. He's been right a few times. He's been right more than a few times, honestly. Alex Jones has been, when he showed up with Trump, that's one thing. Like, that's what up, Rins. There's the man.
Hello.
There's.
I'm happy that
it's a confusing one to explain. Oh, what was that? I think I'll have a puff with you.
Yeah, man. I'm high.
Oh,
it's hashish. From Pakistan. Oh, more, man.
That's cool.
The CNN and those kind of information, everybody is done with it.
Yes.
And and same thing here. They advertise on the internet to listen to the normal radio stations. But nobody wants to listen to the normal radio stations anymore.
No, everyone's listening to their own playlists. Everyone's listening to their own.
And I'm downloading stuff on my phone, and how do you say it? Format. We hate format, and we are done with the format, what they deserve us, because we can choose what we want.
Yeah.
Fuck radio stations, and
there's
the same thing with
we have Clear Channel here, and we have like a pretty bad dilution in like local radio culture. Like, it's kind of become regional upon state, and then you have like nationally syndicated things on the radio now. And
if we want to play some music over there now and hit some bongs and do crazy stuff, it isn't allowed.
There's a lot of places where it's like, you got to listen to 3 ads and break the law to do that. You got to listen to 3 ads and break the law to do that.
We have it over here. It's called it's pirate radio, and it are people. They have an amplifier at their home to stream on the FM, and then you hear around here local old music, and in every town there are a few of those guys, every weekend it's when you turn the radio on, it's Dutch old school music. It's not old school, it's folk.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty weird. It's beer drinking music.
That's
it's like,
interesting.
yeah.
Like Norse folk or something?
Yo, can you play something?
Probably not.
Oh no, if you you're on YouTube now.
Yes.
And yeah, if you put in Dutch pirate music, you hear it is on YouTube. Dutch pirate music, and it's pretty stupid music, but it is from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And no, it's not that. It's can you PIRAAT and then station of station.
Let me just
Piraat.
try that real quick. Oh shit! I didn't mean to put an E.
Yeah, that one. Dutch pirate radio music. Yeah.
Hold on. I'll have to we can do a couple of seconds, but I can't do too much because of copyright. I think that's probably about as much.
No,
as I
it's
can
not
do.
copyright. This isn't copyright. This is so old. It is. Can you put it on the sound?
Let me just double check real quick. If there's any, it looks like it's all been covered by copyright, so it would get the stream pulled. I have to kind of skate thin ice just because of the N-word earlier, so I can't.
Oh, you is it when you when I say a couple of times that word, then we are skipped?
Well, they could pull the stream.
Yeah, but Joey Diaz is on the internet too. Hey,
yeah,
stay black.
But yeah, no, this is no, I can't. It's all copywritten. It's all licensed.
Okay.
It's all licensed music on this particular video, but I'm going to save this to my playlist and check it out. I know that was a very fun couple of seconds I heard a second ago though.
Yeah, but it's weird to hear it. It's I am used to the music, but there are some people, they are saying, "Oh, it's HIV for my ears." Whoa.
It's too much. Yeah,
it's too not dumbable anymore.
That was my original concept, and why this channel's called Merc Radio is because it's supposed to be kind of like pirate radio. But
yeah, fuck the format.
Yeah, but I couldn't. I don't actually have a setup proper enough to do a constant music stream. I was just gonna play my records over and over and over and over and over, and then have shows like this in between. But no, I can't do that. I don't have the setup to do that, turns out. And it was a pain in the ass because all of my music is distributed and aggregated through like one lane, and then my YouTube monetization, because I'm a monetized YouTube channel, so I make money doing this. There's a like
is it a lot? Is it rude to ask?
It just depends. It just depends on how good the video does. You get ad revenue.
When the Gabby Petito stuff was going on, we had a lot of viewers.
Yeah, stuff like that does really well. Like you could make, because I'm still lower level with numbers. So like I think the biggest one to pop off on this channel is like 23K views.
Yeah, but is it what do you earn?
I forget what exactly that translates over to. Nowhere near a full-time job or paycheck. Not at 23K. Not one video at 23K. You'd need to hit consistently 23K to actually make that a job.
Okay.
So the way I do it is kind of part-timey, but yeah, it really just depends on the video. Another thing too that matters is like I've noticed is just again like follow through, and like if there's value, you gotta have value to the content. So I have some pieces out there that like, for instance, the first video in the Lauren Smith Fields 5-part series is gearing up to probably hit 300 views. which if you notice,
Okay.
on average, I'll keep about 60 people, like for like the chill hangout stuff. Like really
Yeah.
about 60 of us on average kind of roll through here. It was at 100, but I had like 40 gray hair fucking right-wing crazy fucks that I'm pretty sure were just troll accounts anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Or just people who got bounced out because the community didn't like them. Like,
But the thing is, if you are what I did, how does my app? It's Discord. So it's Discord, and do you hear me, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah. This is Discord. So what's weird that Discord has its own laws.
Yeah.
It's the same. If I chat
Yeah.
private to somebody on Discord, I am very, very polite. I don't think that because it's pretty anonymous, it's pretty, nobody controls it. But
Yeah.
the thing, what you have to do is behave yourself, and there is one law: behave yourself. And
Yeah. Yeah. There's that's and we've made it real clear too in our community. Like there's consequences and ish like that. Like there's a community you're facing and talking to, and there's been a lot of stuff too that I've had to learn. Like I started off pretty hard through I call it the Brian Laundrie era now. And I've made a playlist of all the Gabby Petito or Brian Laundrie related videos from that era, and wanted to rewatch them just to kind of see the different things that I can improve on moving forward, and like how I actually want to cover true crime, because I feel like there are things I discovered. Like there's two shows I was cramming into one kind of stream, and it's like there's a hangout, and then there's covering true crime in a way that makes me feel good and not bad.
No, but the type of thing what you do, what I like is that it's real. You are real. It's no bullshit and no talking. That is a thing what I want to ask. There was one guy. It was a reporter on CNN. I don't know his name, but he was crying, and he was wearing. I don't know his name. He was constantly. I don't know his name. He was. I think he was from Florida or something. And it's pretty annoying that we have so much quality reporters, and that they decide what we see, and that's.
Yeah, it can become an issue in a society, and it's something that's why people like Joe Rogan are so big here. Is people would rather see somebody exploring things for themselves as opposed to reading a script off a teleprompter in a suit. Like the script and teleprompter and suit vibe is just kind of disappearing. Even people like, do you remember when we were doing in the Brian Laundrie era? Do you remember us watching the Florida news live streams with that guy JB Buno?
Yeah, that's the name of the guy.
Yeah,
I hate that those kind of people. Fuck off from the screen, man.
Yeah,
man up. Give. There are. Yeah, sorry.
He's following into a lane of he's hopping into this type of. He's, in my opinion, JB is kind of the future of what's going to happen with local news. Like,
yeah, fuck off with those kind of people. I want real people, and I don't need a JB Bruno ball.
Yeah, well, his live streams, his live streams by the end of his Brian Laundrie era, he's gotten a little bit more real.
In his live streams, I was always copy paste radio.
Oh yeah, we hopped in there a few different times. Yeah. I'm surprised none of them ever reached out. There's been a few different news people who have rub shoulders with me now. Yeah, there's a few there's a few news people I like because I feel like their heart's in the right place and they want to try to change with the times that I've like actually genuinely encountered. Like there's a guy with KMOV who I think just genuinely likes the stream. Like I don't know, he thinks I'm snarky and funny and
yeah, but we
I don't know who the hell I was communicating with when I Instagrammed them, but these news people seem like kind of into the idea of doing something like JB Buno would do or something like that, and that's
but
I like that.
That is plastic. I don't like plastic. We need wooden people.
Yeah, real people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in a diverse batch of them, you know, I feel like there's not a lot of place for centrist people. There's not a lot of people who have necessarily like, I don't know, the same kind of centrist, moderate, like really chill beliefs the Murkies do.
No, what I see around that people like you, me, and also other Murkies, normal people who listen to good music and love life and do what they do. A lot of people are afraid.
A lot of people are afraid. Well,
yeah.
Fear and fear mongering is why. You know, here we have a whole generation, we have multiple generations that were raised in fear of the East, in fear of ideology, in fear of government collapse, in fear of this or that. And it really sucks. It really sucks. And, you know, there's certain things.
Even religious people,
particularly religious people.
Yeah.
Well, so we were talking about that a little bit earlier too, since I was kind of catching you up on what we're up to. What we've been up to today. We went into Evangelical Christianity earlier. There's two YouTubers I really like, Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning, and they grew up evangelical Christian and had time in a missionary and stuff like that. Like they were part of this thing called Campus Crusaders, and they were full on evangelical Christians, but they're not anymore. They describe themselves as hopeful agnostics now. And they have a really good series on their spiritual deconstruction. And
is it against church or
not? Well, no, because again, they
in a lovely way.
Yeah, in more of like a lovely way, but like
it's cool.
But the evangelical Christian scene is also a good example of, you know, there's a lot of offshoots of that are doomsday Christians, you know, like there's a lot of doomsday Christians in America in particular. Like there are a lot of people convinced the end is nigh and have lived an entire life that way. And, you know, again, I'm somebody who maybe can't think more than 4 years ahead at a time, but, you know,
I don't plan anything.
I just don't see the world. I don't see how someone could live 10 years thinking the world's ending and still think the world's ending. But
yeah, but I don't have time to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my friend Lau used to say, don't clutter your mind with questions you can't answer. And so there's a lot of times people come in with like did you hear about this or that conspiracy? And I'm like, I probably saw the link. I've probably got it bookmarked. I probably haven't read it yet because I've been watching Action Bronson. Like I've been smoking weed and watching Action Bronson. I've been enjoying the shit out of life. Sometimes you just got to enjoy the shit out of life, and it doesn't matter what the news says.
In America, do more people are against CNN and those kind of formats? Are they done with it? Do you feel it, or is it only a generations thing? Or can you feel that the people are done with it.
Oh, I've never known a time in my life where my generation or my peers watch as much mainstream news as I do. I've felt like an outlier in that my entire life. Like there's been times like even like C-SPAN, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. I don't like these were nauseating things to my generation for the most part. Like growing up, this is stuff that's on mute in an airport lobby. Like nobody really watched it. Like I didn't know anybody. I never had any kids around me really saying any talking points from any talking heads from CNN. Now, when I got toward my college years, that's when I really got into like MSNBC and CNN and Fox News. The three in particular, I would watch on a cycle and try to see each of their coverage on the same story. At the job I used to work, there was a TV nearby, and in between working a food job, I could kind of watch one particular story 3 different ways. And, but nobody else was really like, it was special guests worked there with me. Chiefs worked there with me. Other than us, nobody really cared. Like we would talk about it for hours. We would talk about it like we do on this show. A lot of the reason I fall back on news is because the show, my idea for this stream is really kind of based around talking with special guests at a job we used to work. And the news is a good place for talking points. And I want it to get political sometimes. I want there to be divisive conversation between him and I, in particular, because that's where I've discovered a lot about myself and changed a lot over time, particularly with guns and stuff. Like, when I first met special guest, I couldn't have been more anti-gun. Like if I could have gone around with super speed and grabbed every gun and thrown that shit into the sun, I would have done it. But now I live in an open carry state, and I wouldn't vote to take it away. So
no, but on gun law, I had American guests over here, and they were so happy that nobody was carrying here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty relaxed, and they are all from Illinois, and they are always carrying because they are cops, and it's pretty weird that we aren't carrying.
Graf is cracking me up in the chat. He says, once upon a time I feared God, now I fear the sun and our cosmos and mom's wooden flip-flops. That's hilarious.
Nice.
That's hilarious. I mean, when it comes to things I fear day to day, it's human things, not nothing that's...
Yeah, but you do you have a gun?
Me? No. I mean, technically I own a gun. It's just not here. Yeah. Lux does. Yeah, like Lux does. But me, no. I think I technically own more than a couple, but they're not here in this state. They're back at my family's properties. So like nothing that I've inherited stuff is the thing. So like I have guns that are kind of family pieces.
Okay, but what I found out when I was shooting at a shooting range over there in nature, and we were over there with I was with a cop, and we were shooting on a gun range, a shooting range, and it was so relaxing. And we shoot targets, and it was like fishing, or I don't know how to explain it, but when you are concentrating on a target and you are also take the safety stuff with it, then it's pretty relaxing to shoot a day. And if you do that 2 times a month, it can be very refreshing for your mind and your spirit. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, apparently we got some Tonga news about the Tonga volcano. Ooh. Let's see. I got a screen share going, Renz. Can you see that? Yeah. Good. You should be able to. Making sure my screen share's up.
Last month, a powerful underwater volcanic eruption struck the island nation of Tonga. It destroyed buildings and infrastructure, covered the nation in ash, and sent tsunami waves across the world. Now, according to NASA, the eruption also caused ripples in the Earth's ionosphere. Thanks to this finding, scientists now hope to develop a faster warning system for these eruptions, one that could save lives across the world. When the 15 January eruption happened, it produced acoustic shock waves. Now, these shock waves disturbed the ionosphere, the outer layer of the Earth's atmosphere.
Disturbed the ionosphere.
This is the layer which contains electrons ionized by the sun, so the disturbance was detected by monitoring the density of these electrons.
That's
if we
rough.
can detect a tsunami in the open ocean in real time, that gives you several more hours to evacuate coastlines if there is a tsunami approaching.
This data could now help NASA and other bodies. They can develop an early warning system for tsunamis by tracking the changes in the ionosphere. Most countries currently monitor for tsunamis using buoys to track wave activity, but these systems don't give much warning before a tsunami actually strikes. A tsunami warning system based on the ionospheric disturbances could give a much earlier notice, and this will give communities more time to protect lives and property. But the system could take many more years and data to develop fully.
Shocking.
Beyond World is One is now available.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, Mother Nature. There's a bunch of volcanic activity. We found some statistics that a certain amount of volcanic activity is normal, but I'm kind of siding with a good chunk of the Murkies here. We've had an awful lot of it. We've had it seems like an increase in volcanic activity. I don't know. I think about humans being inactive in the world sometimes, and it's strange that there's like volcanic activity at the same time there's like an unusual amount of wildlife coming out of the woods.
We have little earthquakes over here.
Really?
Pretty, yeah. Well, I have how do you say, the cracks in my walls from it.
Oh, man.
Serious. I ain't afraid of it. But if you are on the farthest north of the Netherlands, there are a lot of earthquakes because they are pulling gas out of the ground.
Oh.
And those people are fucked.
Oh,
those houses are completely fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's man. There's where I used to live, there were, I think it was determined that it was because of fracking and mining. We used to have we had like a year where we had these little tiny earthquakes in Arkansas. Do you remember that, Justin? Ooh.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was, that was weird.
Hi, Jason. I'm Rens.
Pretty good.
Yeah. But, freaky. I don't know. Earthquakes freak me out. But again, I've only experienced like a handful of them in Arkansas, like uncharacteristically, like out of nowhere through like the course of 8 years. So I was like, what? Why? And I think it was around 2012, wasn't it? Oh,
Of course it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was around 2012, and it freaked everybody out. Dude, I took that day off. Was it December 21st, 2012? I took that day off. I felt crazy as hell too. What was weird was my mom called me and was like, "You got to take that day off," and I was like, "Why?" She said, "Because," and I'm like, "The world's not gonna end." She's like, "Just in case." Like, it is a good reason to call in. It is a good reason to call in. Fuck it. Why? Just in case. Why? My mom said, dude. I don't know.
I guess police say the suspect knew.
This story looks horrible. Man's body found naked inside cage in basement of Detroit home. I was looking for true crime, and unfortunately, it has slapped us in the face here.
Both of the victims, one of them, is in critical condition tonight. Police say she's lucky to be alive. The lights are still on in the basement where a woman was brutally beaten and a man was killed. Now Antoine Powers McClain is wanted for murder.
He has a very violent history, and he's somebody that
looks
needs to get off
scary.
the street very quickly.
Detroit police say it all started around 6 p.m. Super Bowl Sunday. McClain lured the man and woman to his home on the 9100 block of Stout by asking them to shovel his snow. Investigators tell Fox 2 he gave the pair crack cocaine before inviting them
The
into
snow
his
shovel
basement, where he beat
killer.
them both with a rifle.
Yeah.
For one of them, it proved to be fatal.
We found the victim suffering from
Those
his
kind of
injuries,
guys, they
deceased,
need to chair.
in the basement.
I'm sorry
of the home.
for my opinion, but
and he was actually
If we had a way to secure a guaranteed like a guaranteed absolute
Guilty.
100% knowledge of guilt, like knowledge of guilt, like wholeheartedly, we like Odin knew the inner wants of every man and we could judge him immediately. Like,
yeah, and don't let him wait immediately.
Yeah, like don't. Yeah,
I'm sorry
like
for my opinion, but it isn't a mistake or death by I don't know the right words for it, but yeah.
Well,
guilt. Yeah.
With I hold a bit of a different opinion, and I because I think there are some people that their acts are so heinous they forfeit the right to live in society, and that's the consequence they have to deal with by the court of their peers. But there like we covered the other day, a guy who was he was let go after being in prison for 44 years. It was a wrongful conviction. In America, we have a pretty flimsy and unfortunately racist, like hella racist justice system. So when it comes to a victim, any victim and any person who committed a crime, it's just a different thing in America. Like, I understand why you have that, why you hold the opinion you do, though. A lot of Americans do too. Like, you know, Lux is from Texas, and in Texas, if you go there and kill somebody, they'll kill you back. Like, Texas will sentence you to death. Last I checked. So I just, it's something I don't necessarily agree with, but you know, I would rather my tax dollars, I guess, go toward, you know, death row than space, which is gotta be an unpopular opinion. Gotta be.
Yeah. But some people, when you are not guilty and you are sentenced to death, that's the most horrible thing what can happen.
Yeah.
So don't forget that. And even I have a strong opinion about that. Yeah, this is a guy who isn't capable to live in a free, open society.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like to think by the time we get to a device or means of knowing complete guilt psychically, you know, let's say theoretically, like let's say we develop a psychic way of knowing guilt. I think by then surely we'll have found a way to prevent the next Ted Bundy in childhood through hopefully something like therapy, because that's another reason I like even people like Ted Bundy. He's one of those people I constantly Humpty Dumpty on the fence of, did he deserve to get put to death, or do I wish he was still around so we could explore his brain?
Yeah.
And you know, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is we don't have the tech.
Kaczynski.
Yeah, well, we don't have a way of navigating through Ted Bundy's lies. So what good is exploring his brain? We could map it technologically, but again, we've only come so far in that, in understanding what maybe made him tick and act the way he did. But that's one little tiny sliver of why I'm against the death penalty. But again, there's people like Ted Bundy where I'm Humpty Dumpty on the fence of should he have been put to death? Should he stay alive? Like, should stay incarcerated? Yeah. How does this work? Like, I try to stay fluid in my judgment of that, because yeah, some people do commit a crime so heinous, in my opinion, that they forfeit the right to live. But for the most part, I don't feel that way. It's very rare that I actually feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
outlying that I feel that way.
That's not you. It's
Yeah.
not you.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Oh,
just not my vibe. Yeah, that's
Just
It's not your vibe.
And
It's
not
Yeah.
in the basement of the home.
Police say the woman, who survived the beating, told investigators McLean threatened to kill her if she told anyone what happened. DPD says McLean drove her to this apartment building on Greenfield near Chicago the next morning, where she managed to escape. Police got a 911 call from this Coney Island a few blocks south of that building, telling them of all that happened inside this house.
You know, from simplistically a person shoveling snow to not waking up the next day is kind of eye-opening.
This neighbor, who did not want to be identified, provided police with surveillance footage of the victims going to McLean's home. He's called this neighborhood home for more than 30 years, but says he cannot do so much longer.
Time to go.
Graph, that did happen. We talked about that. Those birds dying
Police are
yesterday.
urging the public to speak up if they run into McLean.
If anyone comes in contact with him, it's very important.
Is he on the run?
Notify your local police if it's outside of Detroit, if it's in Detroit, to notify
Yep.
the Detroit Police Department. We ask that
Yeah.
attempts to.
This is the second.
Run them down.
This is the second
Down, goddammit.
spree or serial killer that is actively wanted by the police and probably still in the town they committed the crime. You know what I mean? Like, and no, there's no massive manhunts like there were for Brian Laundrie for this guy or Daryl Brown, and it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. There should be manhunts for these people.
Yeah, nice.
Like,
Yeah,
they're
and,
monsters.
And License to Kill. Wanted, dead or alive.
They need to get Dog the Bounty Hunter back out there. Is what they need to do. I want Molly Golightly screaming. I want Dog the Bounty Hunter. I want protests
Yeah, and
outside of.
Let's give him cocaine from the government.
Yeah.
And he can run.
Yeah. We watched the story yesterday.
Really dog.
That's
And he is also trans neutral, so that's pretty good.
Yes.
With
Yes.
his hair and his beard, and yeah.
Yeah. He's there's Brian Laundrie, dude. Brian Laundrie
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
But we got to send Dog the Bounty Hunter back out. He's got to fix his press anyway. But all right, hold on. Hold on.
But Doug is getting old.
There's a video of a lady going off on a guy. And again, just to explain to the viewers out there, Rins is from the Netherlands. He's not a racist. Unintentionally dropped the N-word earlier. Didn't mean to on a monetized channel. He's a sweetheart. We've known him forever. We know he's not. He was explaining why he used it in the past. And here's the thing. I've used it in the past between a friend of mine. Like, we used to use it to each other all the time. Somebody who's on this channel all the time. And it's,
Merc, I listen to songs of NWA 2 times a week.
Exactly.
And I love it. It's
exactly.
It's epic. It's nice.
Exactly.
And
You'd be
motherfucking E.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're just so any viewer out there, anybody new who's popped in, or this is the first stream they've checked out, he didn't. That's not. Don't take that ish out of context. Renz is a very good person.
Yeah.
But it makes me want to show you a video that's become
Go fuck yourself.
This lady has become a staple here on the Hangout for me. She's from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Rins, I did the story on Lauren Smithfields. I did a 5-part stream series about her, right? And we investigated the story. But it led me down a rabbit hole of racism in Bridgeport, because Bridgeport, Connecticut has a racism problem. Their police are racist, and they've been caught being racist. Like, they've been like,
but are
it's a
they
fact.
are white?
Yes. Yes.
The police is very white.
Yes. The police force there is very white.
But the police has to serve and protect.
Well, I guess they changed that definition during the Trump admin.
Yeah, but also what I love Trump, but he did also horrible stuff, and the same thing with Obama, and the same thing with Clinton. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there
what
hasn't been an American
everybody
president I
has their
agree
part.
with. There hasn't been an American president in my adult lifetime I haven't outwardly protested verbally against.
And
yeah.
if you are want to be left, stay neutral left. So you when you fall out too far on the left, it's automatically a little bit right. It's not good. Be yourself, behave yourself.
Yeah.
And do what you want to do. It's cool.
There's a
But but this video, can you explain me more?
Okay, so I went down the rabbit hole of racism in Bridgeport, and what I found was a lady who has become near and dear to my heart. She got 5150'd by the local police, which in my opinion was a little overreactive on the police's part, and she's overreacting here. I kind of found a crazy video, but this lady is endless, delicious, angry sound bites. It must have been off screen, but she has perceived racism from this white guy she lives next to. The lady filming this is African American, and she thinks her neighbor is racist. Now, a little bit of background. All I've been able to find in her series of videos are him asking her to move her car. But they have a storied history, these two neighbors. So I'm guessing he said something racist to her. But it's a 3-part series on YouTube, on Reality in the Raw TV. And this one's called Part 2, Racism in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Part 2, Evan Ballas. And this is what it sounds like.
No fucking respect. And this is Miss Emster. Is your car okay?
It's great. She's got the East Coast accent. She's irate. She's over the top. She's turned it up to 11. And she's out here to really jam this racist day up. She's also a veteran.
She's the racist. This is her old racist?
No, there's the white guy she's yelling at is apparently the racist. She's African American.
Okay.
She's not just African American. She's a disabled veteran. So keep in mind with her demeanor and her candor here. I think some of this is a trauma response. I think she's gone full drill sergeant.
Okay.
He has to choke him.
Sorry about that.
Honey, you don't need nervous, okay?
No.
Everybody has problems.
No. This guy can't mind his fucking business. He ain't running nothing here, and he got some fucking nerve talking about how I park my motherfucking Cadillac, bitch. You don't own a fucking... Yeah, go buy two.
Her Cadillac, bitch.
You are selfish. I'm the best tipper in this fucking building. I even tip the fucking garbage people. Go fuck yourself. $20. What are you tipping? No, you're selfish, taking up 2 parking spaces and 3 spaces. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, she's cranked up to 11. It gives me a boost of chaos energy every time I watch it. That's why I've kept it on deck.
Yeah.
And also, again, I don't know what this dude said off camera. I don't know what he said to her in the past. She's been his disabled neighbor for a minute, and I don't know. I won't lie. He doesn't necessarily look like the most chill dude. But
no, but it's the same thing over here. We have because we have a good social system in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
There are also a lot of people who are taking advantage of it. And those kind of the people who cost the working man a lot of money. And if you are the same thing, if there are refugees coming over, and they are really refugees, and then I ain't against to help those people. And there are people over here, those. Iraqi dude, blah blah blah.
They
blah,
fall
blah.
into kind of conservative, xenophobic, conservative talking points.
But they don't do anything. Those kind of people who are kicking against those kind of people, they have to. They they don't do stuff. They are they cost the community a lot of money. And then I have something. Fuck off and shut your fucking mouth.
Oh yeah. There's see, in a smaller European nation, it's easy. It's you can remain moderate and still have that opinion. There's in America, it's been tied up into our crazy two-party system. So like, you're either with 'em or against 'em with any topic broadly, and there's no centrist element to it. Like, there's a certain amount of help that I think there's a lot of tax raising that should happen on corporations, in my opinion, in America, with the express purpose of allocating those resources directly to things like immigration. In America, we're a melting pot. It's important here. You have places that if I was to be a native citizen, I'd probably vote differently, like the British Isles. I'd probably be more conservative in my viewpoint if I was from the UK. In America, there's like a certain amount of freedom and a certain amount of openness we've historically had and are supposed to have based on the founding of our nation that, you know, it's caused people on the ground that, like, there's almost no kind of like you, Rins, where it's like moderate middle view on immigration. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's good immigration. If I was over there in that fucking poor country and bombs were flying over my ears, I want to run and I'm going to Europe or I'm going to Texas, so because I want to live free or die.
Yeah. Well, and you want to find opportunity. Like, you're somebody who works, so you want to go find work.
Yeah.
In those impoverished nations, there's nowhere to work. You know, like there's no infrastructure.
But Mark, if you work and you want to live, then you have to find balance. Also, in what you earn and what you spend, and
a lot of my experience with, like, okay, so in America, right, we have a lot of immigrants from Latin nations, and the majority of immigrants from Latin nations I've met through the workforce, and they're not just grinding to keep their rent paid. They're sending money back home so they can move their family too. And like, I've known a lot of people who actually have followed the steps to kind of become an American citizen. And here's the thing, you have to have those steps. You cut down you cut down on illegal immigration, the easier you make it to become a citizen and actually get a job. And we have a need in the workforce right now, and I hope we're kind of feeling the hole, because a lot of it has to do with, in my opinion, the way that some of these, particularly in the South, you have corporate structures that at the very top of it is a very old racist person. And
what's the agency what hunt those people down?
Here, immigration. So what is it, IMF or whatever?
No. Trump made those people big. It was,
Border Patrol. The Border Patrol
it was,
people
on Netflix, and it was they are explaining, and it was not the FBI but another.
Wait. The NSA?
No, not the NSA.
That was before Trump. I think I know what you're talking about.
ICE.
ICE. That's right. ICE.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alley Cats.
ICE.
Yeah, ICE. I about forgot about that. Yeah. See, I think that's a step in the opposite direction. I think you need to make this paperwork they have to do easier. And
but everybody is against the wall. But what pretty weird is that the Mexican ground, laying next to Texas, is from a Chinese dude. So weird it's so weird. It's
America's strange.
And
but
Mexico is also strange. The whole world is strange.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what I mean too. Just North America in general, the state of Mexico, in my opinion, is like a humanitarian crisis, and I don't think we should build a wall. I think we should send aid. I think they need help. Whether Mexico wants to admit it or not, they have a cartel. They have a cartel problem. Yeah. Like, You can't run a nation effectively with cartels as militarized and massive as they have in Mexico, like, or as cultish, like. And I kind of agree with special guest that a lot of the like crazy cult like militias that happen in these Latin nations that we hear about, a lot of that is a symptom of stuff that America left behind. A lot of that were operations that are still around and are functionally cargo cults of, based on this like weird repugnant ideology. I'm plugging the tattered map. Watch the tattered map on the homepage.
But they are picking out the head figures like Pablo Escobar and the other name of the dude, the cartel boss. He has a tunnel under the jail.
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
That El Chapo.
Yeah.
They call his sons. It cracks me up. They call his sons. This is a common kind of like. It's kind of like wordplay to use in Spanish, but they call his sons the Chapitos. The Chapitos. The little Chapitos.
It sounds cute. Yeah, that's
the Chapitos. Yeah, the Chapitos. But yeah, no, they're dangerous. They're scary as hell, dude. What they arrested a Chapito like a year ago, and the cartel shut the city down and came and got him out of jail.
Nice.
Like they have a problem. You cannot like it, by any scale of the UN's like scale for national crisis. Mexico has been in one my entire lifetime. Economically, their rate of violence, the amount of drugs coming out and going in, and the amount of human trafficking in and out, like. And we've used it as a damn highway down to the southern Latin nations, and it's just disgusting to me. Like that's why when like I've been playing Hearts of Iron with Chief, we're gonna conquer the world, right, in this video game. But I'm playing Mexico, and it's like a government simulator, so I've rebuilt Mexico, and it's better. You want to live in Mexico more than you want to live in America, damn it. In 1937, anyway, in my 1937 Mexico in this video game. Check it out. It's in the videos tab. We banned the import of avocados. We don't have enough. Last I heard, we don't have enough workers in California and stuff where we grow avocados to actually make the avocados happen. So how's that going to work out?
Pretty weird.
America's going to get a whole nation addicted to avocado toast. And then they're going to not import avocados. Thanks, Biden.
But why? Because they want to mandate Mexico for stuff, or why do they do it? Why the ban?
There's been like salmonella and stuff like that coming from different food sources. I know that much, anyways. I'm not sure.
And they think that it's from Mexico.
Oh man, I gotta go. Ooh, guys, guess what I'm doing after the stream? Probably going to talk to my new employer. I'm very excited.
What are you gonna do, Mark?
All I can tell you, unfortunately, is that it is an entertainment. So I will be doing low-level entertainment work. But I can tell you off air. I'll tell you guys about it all day off air. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm hopefully going to get to be a part of a really cool crew, and I don't care if I start at the bottom rung of anything in entertainment. I want to do it. I want to be around it, and I'm so excited. Sorry, I just got a text from the Queen, and yeah, damn. That's some news.
What's the time over there, Mark?
It is 1 p.m.
Okay.
It is 1 p.m., so we'll probably roll for another, 45 to an hour-ish. And then I probably got to bounce out of here.
No, well, go, you fucking move. I don't give a fuck about your peace. Peace is up the street, across the street.
Peace is up the street, across the street, says Miss Bridgeport. I call her Miss Bridgeport. I don't know her name. They have tagged this guy's name all over this video. His name's Evan, but I call her Miss Bridgeport, and I really feel for her. Again, if you watch the three-part thing, the more I talk to Rins too about just the mentality of, so, you know, again, we had a stream forever ago, it feels like, but like a week ago, Rins and I talked about how, you know, there were certain things in conservative politics that really speak to Rins, and it makes sense for his climate and his situation and his environment. Like, if you put yourself in Rins's shoes, some of those things make sense. These are the kinds of conservative people I like to get along with. People with genuine substance behind why they feel the way they feel. Like, for instance, Rins is against the mandates because even if there weren't mandates, he's very rarely within 6 feet of somebody, like, other than his family. Like, he's got space where he's at, and it makes sense. He's like it's like almost an exhibit A on why I think you can't mandate a metropolis the same way you mandate a rural area. And you can be liberal and feel that way. You can be conservative and also feel that way. You know, you can be both and feel that way.
People have to have the choice.
Yeah, they have to have the choice.
Free choice. Yeah. Fuck off with Pfizer and fuck off with everybody who wants to mandate anything. Anything.
Yeah,
if you behave yourself and be nice to other people and give them their space, because we are with 800 million on this planet, and 400 should be better. But yeah. So we are in crowded spaces to, be nice to each other. And if you are getting stressed out from people, go outdoors.
Yeah.
And not with a girl. If you are a psycho like Brian Laundrie. If you are toxic, go to a doctor.
And well, here's the thing, with compassionate infrastructure comes a net to catch those people early. One thing.
But if I'm feeling fucked up in my head and I want to beat somebody up, I have to go to a sports school, or I have to go to a therapist, or speak to your mother, grandmother, aunt, a wise woman.
Yeah.
Talk with wise woman.
It was really hard. You know, my sister was bipolar schizophrenic and had a lot of behavior issues when she was a kid, and it was really hard. You know, my mother at one point was a mother she was a single mother, just on the ground pleading for help. She didn't know what to do. And, you know, this is an example of, like, I feel like my sister had been an example and she got caught up in the system. She's got felonies, you know, she's as far as I know, incarcerated right now. And the thing is like, these things, this life she led could have been prevented. And I don't think the responsibility necessarily falls on her shoulders, because the mental illness showed up and took away her capacity to logically make well-informed or any information behind a decision. She'll react on raw impulse based off of delusion. And so
she didn't get the help what she
needed. Yeah. And with compassionate infrastructure, you can get help for people like that. On that note though, real fast, Rins, I'm going to take another restroom break and grab some tea. And
I want to look. I have one left.
Oh,
and I need to share it. So I have to cut it in two, and I bring something to the living room. I'm a few minutes off. I'm coming back.
Right on. We'll talk to you in just a bit.
Oh, wait, here. Wait.
Oh, puppers.
Hey. Yeah.
Puppers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. A German Shepherd mixed Malinois. Malinois. Oh. Beautiful. Go.
No, she's so cute.
Oh, sweet baby too. Oh.
Yeah. And she doesn't bite, but she barks when somebody is coming, and that's enough.
Oh.
People are scared of this kind of dogs.
Hey, talk to you later,
Yeah.
Allie, in the chat. All right, take a restroom break. I'll be back, Rins.
Yeah, me too.
Right on. Talk to everybody in just a moment. We're back. Ooh, we back. Good night. That was quite the restroom break. Well, we have one last thing on the agenda today, guys. What are we naming the episode? What are we naming the episode? Ooh. Ooh. Is it... Okay, I gotta wash my hair and trim it because I'm gonna go talk to an employer. And I'm pumped. Miss Bridgeport.
Paradise to cemetery, go fuck yourself. Yeah, it ain't never gonna end. You got a big mouth and you should have left my goddamn ass the fuck alone. You're gonna wish you did though, motherfucker.
You're gonna wish you did though.
I don't give a fuck. You ain't gonna make me fucking move no goddamn where, bitch.
Lordy.
Yeah, your fucking mother don't belong here. Another racist comment? I don't belong here. Why? Because I'm black? Say it, motherfucker. Say it. Say it, mother.
Get him, Miss Bridgeport. Get him. Get those racist mamma jammas, dude. So good. I love Miss Bridgeport. I love her so much. So much. Check our stream out here. Nice. But yeah, she's loud.
Fuck her. Yeah.
Rins is back.
Liar. Why don't you go get a fuck? Go suck a dick. Look at this face. Everybody in this building. Everybody in this building.
Go suck a dick. She's my spirit animal, dude. I wish Miss Bridgeport was my auntie. I love her for that same energy Molly Golightly brings. Man, I'm so on the fence about Molly Golightly. I love you, Aunt Molly. I need to see if I can't just send a DM and be like, hey, do you remember me? And did you give a bunch of people COVID? Are you an anti-vaxxer? Because it's one thing to be an anti-vaxxer and like keep to yourself and care about the people around you, but like to be an anti-vaxxer like goes and raises hell. You know? Yeah, like you don't go raise hell, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not going around coughing on people and screaming at people, Renz. Like you can be an anti-vaxxer, but like stay home, hoard COVID tests, do your thing. Don't scream at people. Yeah, exactly. Don't go kissing on people. Yeah, like don't go. Yeah, she's out there in the club, and then brings the club outside of a victim, or well, not a victim's family's home, outside of a suspect's family's home during an active criminal investigation. That shit was wild. Could you imagine if there was a crime in Gotham and Batman's trying to solve it, and Molly Golightly is outside of the suspect's parents' house the whole time? It's just part of the comic. Just every issue you get a little check in on what Molly's up to. We're still here looking for justice. Let's play.
We need.
What was it?
We need more Mollies.
We need more Mollies. She did bring a little bit of transparency to, look. She was she was the first media source to report that there was a gun found with Brian's body in the Brian Laundrie story. I was there. I saw it. She was the first person to say that shit. She saw that shit. That's important. It's important to have that.
But she is allowed to scream anything what she wants to scream.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's some shit she's done. Like, she out here. But, ooh.
But even Molly isn't allowed to use the N-word.
No one can on YouTube. It's too hurtful in America. It's different in Europe and certain places, I imagine, but it's just too hurtful socially here. Like, there's a social cue that maybe isn't everywhere else that I've noticed. And it's, this is why it was an issue for Joe Rogan to even have said it in almost the same way you said it in the past. Like, Joe Rogan used it in a very similar context to the way you did, in my opinion. And it's not that they're racist. They were explaining a situation and talking uncensored. Like, and there's, in my opinion, being an adult is, part of it is understanding the social cues that you have to navigate through and finding a space between saying what you want to say and the room hearing it. And in America, once you drop that word, then no one's listening to you anymore. Like, that's the thing. It's like everyone stops listening and starts hating you. And really, no matter the context. And that's not me being anti-cancel culture. I think there should be social consequences. And again, I think if the responsibility falls on the adult. But with that particular word here in America, more than anywhere else. Because again, if we have a consistent theme on this channel outside of checking in with mainstream news, it's police corruption and systemic racism. Systemic racism seems to be an issue in a lot of the true crime we cover here, and it's different here. We have a history of it. A lot of America's legacy is built on the backs of people who were bought and sold.
Slavery.
Exactly. So it's just one of those words that shuts a conversation down immediately. And again, me as an adult, as an American adult, I don't use it even with people off air that we used to call each other that because we grew up in an urban environment and they were a minority and felt, you know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah, but
a conversation I've had in the past,
It's not automatically guilty of being white stuff. I don't gonna make,
exactly
excuses for nobody. The same thing if you German people who are making excuses for the Holocaust. It's like yeah.
Did I see the last?
Don't make learn from your history and don't make mistakes again.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. We have something from Oliver on Twitch. Did you see the New York kidnapping? They found the 2-year-old girl lady yesterday. She was their biological parents. That's not the girl they found under the stairs, is it? Let's pull this story up. I totally missed that submission. My bad, Oliver. Yes, we talked about this yesterday, but we weren't on Twitch yet.
They had the ability to hide the child and the mother in this location. I provided some photos.
Yeah, they had this kid under the stairs. Check this out, Rins. Look at that.
So I think
they had her living under there.
Knowing that we had the search warrant and we entered the residence, the father, Schultes Jr., Kirk Schultes Jr., and the grandfather, Kirk Schultes Sr., they were adamant with our officers that the child was not there, that Kimberly was not there, that we weren't going to find anything. And that's which led me to believe after the fact that they had done this.
Thank you for sharing this particular one, though, Oliver, because this one's actually this one's kind of a more thorough. Global News is always on it with this. We get mug shots. We get some of the faces. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. This guy looks like Dollar General Bradley Cooper in the middle. By the way, he looks like Dollar General American Sniper. They kind of look like some prime dime pieces of shit. But
I'm sorry, but this are low life deep shits.
Mm-hmm. Agreed,
White
friend.
Trash. White trash.
Agreed, my friend.
Say that.
Agreed, my friend. Absolutely. It's a man. It
the cancer of the society.
Yeah. This is and in America we have such. It's been kind of my theme this week. One of my many. The things we talked about an episode ago. We had an episode titled "Tribal Mike and the Purple People," and we explored an Ozarks cult that was called the Purple People. And I remember seeing them occasionally as a kid, I swear. But we have some backwoods stuff, Rens. We have these pockets of strange, weird redneck stuff going on. And if it's not redneck stuff, it's unusually Eastern stuff that's been there for a long time. Is what's weird too, like the amount of Eastern
under the radar jigsaw stuff.
Exactly. Cannibal cults and truckers and stuff. Like there's all kinds of stuff going on up in Missouri.
They just figured that we would give up after a while and leave. However, every officer that was involved there last evening, the state troopers and our uniformed officers, nobody was leaving without that child. We honestly believe that child was there. And, of course, at the end of the day, that's exactly what the case was. The child was hidden in that residence. So, actually, Detective Eric Thiel, one of my detectives, walked up and down the steps a number of times during the course of the search. And he said there was just something about the steps that was off. It didn't feel right. It didn't look right. He took a closer examination of it. It struck him funny that these stairs that come off a set of bilco doors at the backside of the residence that go into the basement, they were encased. They were closed in. And normally those type stairs are either made of concrete or if they're made of wood, there's no risers and you can see behind the staircase. In this case, you couldn't. And it was built pretty solid. He used a flashlight, and where two of the step boards came together, he looked through the crack and he saw what he believed was a blanket. So they used a halogen tool to start removing the stair steps from the staircase itself. And then eventually they saw a pair of little feet. And when they got more boards off, they found the little girl, Paisley, and her biological mother, Kimberly Cooper, hiding in that location. She was in good shape. She was, she
alive.
Was alive. For our officers because
my God,
we went in there not knowing they were going to encounter. So
but what she went through.
Her and that mother. It sounds horrible. Kidnapped 2 years ago. So he's just been seeing. I'm hoping they didn't sleep there all the time. Maybe that was an emergency spot. But either way, that place looks pretty crackhead. Looks pretty gross on the inside.
Yeah.
Just the way that place is kept looks pretty gnarly. So that's wild. But all right.
Fucked up childhood.
Do we call it Merc Radio in the Multiverse of Madness? Is that what we're calling this episode? What's our episode today?
pretty rough shit what is going on.
It really is. It's a
Yeah.
hey, this Ukraine and Russia stuff. I'm still not convinced. I'm still leaning toward it might be a conspiracy to cover up what each nation involved has going on internally.
Can you explain me something more about what the girl was sharing on our in our inbox about Native American people who are gone? They are lost.
Yes, missing and indigenous native, missing indigenous women, missing and endangered indigenous women, I believe is the name of the.
Ryan T does it. I love it that she shares it so much because now when I'm here at Friends, we talk about this kind of sick shit, and if he wasn't sharing it so much, then we in Europe didn't know that it exists.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about internet, and that we are sharing more stuff.
Mhm.
We make the world a better place.
It's why I used to have a VPN sponsor, is so that Europeans could get local American news. A lot of local American news is geo-blocked, and you have to, like, I had a lot of streams with the Elizabeth Cook era, which was before Brian Laundrie, so before a lot of people showed up, where I was doing streams just covering the Elizabeth Cook local news for European people, because because the Europeans were telling me that they couldn't get the news. They're like, we can't watch those videos. But if I did reactions to them, they could watch those videos. So I still keep the news reactions as part of the format for a lot of reasons. But it meant a lot to me that I had, like, my first bit of actual, like, viewer communication was, hey, I'm in Europe. It's really cool you shared this, because I'm not able to see the actual news on it.
No, it says I have it too. If I go to my normal browser and I want to watch on local stuff over there, and when it's governmental stuff, I can't see it. It's blocked.
Yeah, absolutely.
They think I'm a motherfucking Russian dude.
Dude, Graf just said, yeah, EU news is always under constant manipulation. Yeah, it's because European press is, you'll notice, like, very few European news sources that I kind of hop to here. For the most part, I like to let the Europeans see what we have going on, because a lot of it gets geo-blocked. And again, it's why I had a VPN sponsor, but I don't do that anymore. I'm going to do charities instead of sponsors for the year. For the whole year. I feel guilty about how I ended up with how the Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito streams ended up. So I want it to be more focused on true crime and not have to deal with ad breaks or sponsors, and keep my true crime stuff, unless it's a true crime, like, keep my true crime series ad free, and, you know, really promote a GoFundMe or a charity. But man, it's still something I believe in. Like, I hate that, like, the freedom of information, like the access to information in any European country seems so ridiculous, but these are reasons.
No, we can see a lot. If I go to those big browser who everybody is watching on to watch the beheading videos of ISIS.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all everybody can hop on and see what you want to see. It's not. We
well,
can see
I more mean just them actually geo-blocking things like the news from America. Like,
local Illinois
news.
I ain't allowed to see. What the fuck?
Yeah. See, that's
I'm more American than you dudes.
Yeah, and the reason I think it is because they don't want the press and they don't want to show society working necessarily for a democratic free nation. As well as it does sometimes. So I don't know if it's blocked because of our violent news or because of our good news, but it's probably blocked for a mix of both. You know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe I don't know what's right or wrong, but maybe those bigger concerns think too much in their own bubble. They think that they are, we are on the roll. We are loose. You can't control us anymore because we are free. And if everybody knows and they step in their own power and their own control, then a lot of stuff isn't. The crime rates will go down, and that's
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe in a better place, in a better in the future. I believe that when the good people are doing good, like Joe Rogan, like name them. There are good people, even in the States and even in the Netherlands. But we want the truth and no bullshit anymore.
Yeah. Well, and the total war of American media is interesting too. Like, one thing I've noticed is sometimes liberal UK press gives Boris Johnson a little bit of room, and I don't know if it's out of their kind of built-in
Network.
sense of decorum. You know what I mean? Like, there's just kind of a difference in decorum for UK press, it would appear, than America sometimes. I don't know, but Graph just cracked me up in the chat. But the perception of someone like Trump in America like that, it's different the way it hits in America. Like, and the way there's a complete, like, Trump is my go-to example because I got caught up in the hating Trump train, and then he was actually elected. And, when Trump first started, I started getting paid for music for the first time in my life. When I used to not collect a royalty check, suddenly I got a royalty check because of the Music Modernization Act, which made me a little bit more pro-Trump. I said, let's hear the guy out. And then the bullshit kind of continued with the way he spoke. And that was kind of my line was like, I'm ready for him to be gone because I'm tired of hearing him. But
yeah,
post Trump in particular, it's like you either hate all of them or you love all of them. And it's like, there's people I like on both sides. There's people on the conservative side I like. There's people on the liberal side that I like. And that goes all the way into YouTube personalities. Like, there's YouTube personalities that are right that I like. There's YouTube personalities that are left that I like. Far more liberal YouTubers that I care for than conservative YouTubers. I don't really like. We used to have a troll that'd come in and bring up the Fresh and Fit podcast all the time. Like, I don't listen to that kind of shit. Like, I don't care about the alpha male podcasts and stuff like that. Like, that's nauseating to me. I'm a feminist, so I don't listen to all that.
Weed makes you a feminist too. That's why that's the best medicine for aggressive people.
Yeah, I think, it made Joe Rogan more respectful toward women on his own account. That's what he said. He said it definitely softened him up as an individual.
Me too.
Yeah, I was raised by women, so I'll just never understand that particular crowd. But that crowd's out there, and there's a couple people within that realm that I've discovered that I watch their videos for the laughs because they're so wrong. Like, there's people like Doomcock, or like any of the people who are like misogynists that review entertainment. I watch them not because I agree with them. I watch them silently because they're so wrong. I'm laughing the whole time. Like it's like watching somebody throw a fit because a girl's playing with their action figure. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But that's how I watch to the Canadian dude.
Yeah. You talking about Crowder? You talking about Steven Crowder?
I don't know, but he's a backstabber.
Yeah, Steven Crowder's been a YouTube pariah for a long time. Again, I still hold a grudge against him for his 3-hour-long ad. He put an ad out that was a skippable ad, but it ran for 3 hours. So if you're watching a 5-minute video, you might hear Steven Crowder talk for 3 hours. If you don't hit skip.
Yeah, but it's the dude who mandates Canada.
Oh, you're talking about Trudeau. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trudeau. Yesterday that freaked me out. And again, I'm still kind of conspiracy chubbed over Christie having seen black helicopters. I like hearing stuff from people on the ground. You know what I mean? I take that stuff seriously.
Yeah.
Hey, what up,
Every
Brian?
Canadian has to stand his ground.
Yeah.
Fuck
absolutely.
off, because Canadian people have to do what they have to do.
Yeah.
And same, and it's how you explain it to me that if you're living in a city and there is a big COVID stuff going on, then you have to behave yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you are in Canada, more space than anywhere else on the planet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, and maybe in the cities it's a different thing, but come on.
Yeah. No, you can't make policies for both types of environment. Like you can't. It drives me nuts about New Jersey. If they put a smart gun on the market, New Jersey has a law that will be the only gun allowed in New Jersey. But it's like there's rural areas of New Jersey that those people should be allowed to have their rifles and things that you need in a rural area. There's a lot more than protecting yourself that you might need a gun for when you live in the woods. And that's just from personal experience.
But in New Jersey, it's crazy that Joe Rogan has to drive from New York to New Jersey to eat something because he isn't vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. I don't want to be vaccinated. Never. So fuck off with your mandates, and it's my risk. You're vaxxed, so you're protected. So
it's one of those I bend to only because of my scale of oppression. So I have kind of a formula I use for myself. I'm a never again Jewish person, so I don't ever want something like the Holocaust to happen, and I pay attention to things that might be like that event, right? Or a genocide at all. And
but you are a Jew.
And so
you don't go to the Jewish church, but you are a Jew. The same thing that my grandparents were Catholic, and I am.
Oh well, I'm also a practicing theistic Jew. I am indeed religiously Jewish as well. I'm open about it. I'm definitely a theist. I'm not agnostic in any way. I identify as Jewish with my faith.
I'm not against Jews. But
I'm also ethnically Jewish. Yes, my ancestry. But I am. Both skis.
It's weird that we are still are busy with white or black or Jew or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with the conversations because look at me. Maybe I am a Jew.
Exactly.
My black brother makes jokes about a Jewish nose.
Yeah.
He calls it, hey, you with your Jewish boxer nose.
Yeah, no, mine's got a curve to it. I've had friends in it.
Maybe I'm Jewish too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, you never know. Particularly there, you might be Ashkenazi of some form, or at least a sliver. And if it's on your maternal line, you're ethnically Jewish, man. But here's my thing. Like,
at the end, we are all Jewish.
Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, 3 out of 5 males are related to Genghis Khan directly. But when I folded to the mandate, and when I folded to the vaccine, and that's how I look at it. I bent my knee to the vaccine. I fought it as long as I could because my doctor said it wasn't a good idea. And then it became a coin flip. Well, it might be a good idea. Well, it might not be a good idea. Well, all right. I want to do things. I live in a metropolitan area and I care about the people around me. I'm going to go ahead and get the vaccine. That's the path I walked.
But if you are, if you have a good feeling from it, it's your choice. But
now,
nobody has have to tell me what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, my opinion on Joe Rogan is I wished his path would have led him to maybe looking at the compassionate side of the argument, because his job is breathing at people. You know what I mean? Like his job is going in front of crowds and breathing on them. He talks at them. He very much shares a lot of what he has going on bacterially. He could create, if he gets in, if he tests positive and performs, you're gonna have other people test positive afterward, man. But look, I also don't think he's entitled to be in a room full of vaccinated people and be the only unvaccinated person. Like, that's selfish as a creator to do. So I just wish his path of self-exploration with the vaccine would have maybe led him to understand the type of public figure that he is and what he wants out of it, and maybe just go ahead and get the fucking vaccine. Like, just get the vaccine, but that's for him. Again, like someone like you, Renz, I get it. Special guest, I don't think he's vaccinated. I don't think he wants to. While it breaks my heart that he doesn't necessarily want to come do cool shit, he'd have to go out of his way to do like negative tests and stuff. It's like, that's his decision, and he doesn't necessarily interact with people as much as I plan to, So
No, but
I get it.
Yeah, but it's the thing is that, and that is how I see it over here, that there are a lot of people that if a government says something, are shoving it up our throats.
Mm-hmm.
When we done it, and it's hard to say, and we aren't allowed to say that over here, but the thing is, if you don't trust your government, that's the best thing to do.
It's definitely something I always keep up my sleeve. I mean, that's part of Never Again, is you have to watch your government. You have to be in the room where it happens as much as you can. You owe yourself that, particularly if you're American and you care about the political system. You need to pay attention to it. And even if finding transparency in it takes you picking away at chunks of their own armor, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I have seen.
Jameson, I feel you. Jameson makes a really good point. So I respect everyone, but I don't for one second agree that it's a personal decision. I just don't agree with that on any level. I feel like, again, like there should be a mandate on someone like me who lives in a metropolitan area, and got the vaccine and should have gotten the vaccine, and I should have gotten it earlier, probably. Like, I think if you don't have neighbors, people like that, like, don't go anywhere. I understand, like, the rural spread out areas, I get that. But like, again, if you have people that live above you and below you, like I do,
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. The reaction of the guy. He's telling that everybody should be mandated to get the vaccine. Is that what you say? Because that's so wrong. Then you have to go to Canada because those guys want to do that to you.
Well, and again, like there's certain places I see and understand the mandates, but I'm also somebody who folded to them. Like I saw it and saw what I want on the other side of the mandate, and I got the vaccine because I want what's on the other side of that mandate. Again, I think if you're a creator or you're somebody that's a public figure, like that should be the decision you make. That's what I feel like is the most compassionate, easiest way to make that decision. Because again, I don't think that it's. I have an autoimmune disease. I ran a serious risk of becoming very, 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 very ill. Like, it could have killed me. The vaccine, the virus could have killed me. I've had both now. I caught COVID, I caught Omicron, and I've had 2 rounds of the vaccine. And
2 rounds, no booster.
Yeah, there's no tattoo on me with numbers. They're not putting me in a camp. I'm not, I've not gone hella zealous on this or that. I've not changed in any way. I didn't get hella sick either, which I did get sick, but I got what I felt like was the anticipated sick. Like, there wasn't a symptom I had that I didn't feel like somebody had already told me was going to happen when I got the shot. Like, it felt very, I don't know, my generation, we had mad cow, we had H1N1, we had that swine flu shit, which might have been H1N1, might be the same thing, whatever. We had a bunch of different weird things pop up, and
Same thing over here.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had that too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and but like my generation, I don't really like, that's where, like when it
And
comes
it's not
to
that I'm
when
an anti-vaxxer or something. My kid, he's 7 and he had all his vaccines,
yeah.
but we don't walk after Pfizer or Moderna or we don't give a fuck about COVID anymore over here, and nobody does. So the Netherlands, they are we are done with it, and we are done with our government, and it's because they are only a bunch of liars. And I don't want to make a bigger point than I did now. I'm done, but
oh yeah. Hey. Well, that
fuck them.
that's I don't know. There will always be a side of me that'll be angsty. Fuck the government, always. And yeah, I'll never bend. But look, man, when I'm somebody who, my position, there's things I want to do, and I want to do them now, and I don't like waiting, and I don't want to wait for COVID to end, and I don't want to wait for the government to stop being cunts, because the government have been cunts my whole life. So I got that vaccine so I could hop over that mandate. I keep that vaccine card ready to present.
Choice.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to do it, nobody was pointing a gun at you. Get the vaccine.
No,
So
and
it's
it
your
was
choice.
it was my choice. But again, like I was faced with the social obstacle of these mandates now, and I think like that's the argument here: is that okay? Is that okay for the government to do? And in my opinion, it is. I think the government, it's kind of their job to set up those hurdles sometimes. Like,
Yeah, I'm so anti-government, and I don't believe them anymore, and I don't trust them anymore. And that's because over here, there are a lot of crazy politicians and also high-placed men and women who play very, very filthy games with other people and also with lives. So it's
Yeah. Well, again, we're in two very different nations, is what I always love about our conversations, Renz, you and I. Like, we are
brothers.
Yeah, we're brothers. I'd love to get you over here and take you to man. I just wish if COVID wasn't a thing, if we could go back 4 or 5 years, I wish we could just go to LA and burn some blunts on the beach, man. And show you the peak of liberal LA existence, because I felt like it was pretty cool there for a minute before everything kind of collapsed with COVID.
Is it Joe Rogan shared a video of LA, and there was a train rolling through LA, and they are plundering the train, the sea containers.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, they are. Hell yeah, they are. Oh, there's
people.
Yeah, there's train raids. There's actual train heists. Like, it's the Old West going on in LA right now. Like, the West Coast is on fire right now. It's, San Francisco is also very strange right now. They voted out like a group of politically split individuals. With a 70% margin, voted out every member of the San Francisco school board, who were all liberal and progressive school board members. It's very interesting times for the West Coast. I'm still kind of like making calculations on how I'm going to predict each area of California would vote, kind of thing,
Okay.
Yeah. But Andrea Owen in the chat's making a really good point. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, and here's the thing, like, as somebody who's lived both options, deciding not to and deciding to get the vaccine, I can go do stuff now I couldn't before. I feel like I'm going to the sacrifice to not do stuff wasn't worth it to me. If it's worth it for you, go for it. Either way, I think the government is, like, in America anyway, like, these are things that aren't that new. We had polio issues. We've had different outbreaks of things. Things happen here like this, and I don't know. I got on the other side of it later than I meant to.
Fill your
Oh,
bum.
ooh, yeah. Let's do this. Grab a puff. Let's grab a puff. I gotta roll on out of here because I gotta go talk to an employer, man. So, but I still haven't. I still haven't named.
Do we got now?
We're at 10.
Oh yeah, it's progression.
Progression. So let's should we upset everybody and title this episode liberal vibes?
Yeah, but it's not. People have to know that we are done. We are done with the negative shit. We want pure black mamas. We want brothers. We want the guys from the N-word because they are my brothers.
Yep.
We aren't allowed to say that anymore. And my brother Puck, it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, we got to. You know what? I think one day there'll be a dropping of any kind of. But here's the thing, Chief and we're trying to get to space in a game, and the only way to get there is if we fascistically conquer Earth. That's the quickest way to get to space, is if we take things away from people and make them worry about getting to space. I wonder if do we get to the beautiful Starfleet dream of no racism and rights for everybody without at some point having a culture where some things are just socially taboo. I think it's healthy. I think it's natural. I think humans go through these evolutions where words come in and out of our vernacular as taboo or not, or hurtful. Again, like the N-word, like the issue is that it's a hurtful word. And for most Americans.
Yeah, and it's I understand why, and it's not that, but it's now that they are framing every peaceful guy who is with his N-word brothers.
Yeah,
it's the same thing as Eminem says it. It's he's stay black.
It's become well, it's my thing is it shuts conversation down, but again, I think maybe it's natural. Maybe it's natural. Maybe it's supposed to go that way.
Mark, that Scott Storch is blacker than some dark dudes.
Oh yeah. There's
so
there's some people that by some social circles they say that they can say that word and that they can't. I know Joe Rogan, because of his history in historically black comedy venues, he felt he had a certain amount of ability to say that word because of the community that supported him, and that's fair. That's another thing that you would understand if anybody who has watched his show would understand.
Yeah, but it's the same thing if you want to frame me racist or Arabic dude because I have a beard, and I'm not racist. I'm not. Oh no. We have a brand here. It's a brand. Trust me, it's a brand for dark-skinned boxers.
Oh.
And in England they have the brand, and it's Lonsdale. And Lonsdale, some white racist dudes wear Lonsdale t-shirts.
Oh.
Also over here, but I am wearing a Lonsdale shirt to start a conversation to that not every you can't frame me even if I'm wear it.
Yep.
You can't frame me a racist.
Yep.
Because if I go to the coffee shop in some villages around me, there are more Arabic dudes who hug me with my Lonsdale shirt on because they know that I ain't a racist, and I have never black people are my friends and they are my family. My nephew, he's 6 months old, his father is a Negro from Colombia. So we are, and that's my, he has to say uncle when he's older. And I'm very proud of a dark-skinned family member.
That's
So fuck off with your fuck Nazis.
Yeah, fuck the Nazis, man. There's racism, man. I think we'll see an age where it will hopefully disappear and maybe we can all blend together, but I'm wondering if we ever get there, if we ever get that social change without there being an era like we're living through now, where it's like just some things become
but it's
hurtful
going on
and
now.
taboo.
You and me are doing it.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I know. Between Lux and I think we have every continent in our bloodlines. So if we were to ever procreate, that child would be a child of the world. You know, we're a biracial relationship.
If somebody belongs in a camp, then you should be in a camp.
Yeah, that's
with other Murkies.
Hey, man, that's most of us Murkies we get camped up. That's another reason I don't like communism, man. A lot of us are disabled. A lot of us are disabled, and we get camped.
We aren't allowed to make jokes about trains or camp anymore. It's we are done with it. Yeah, but never forget. It's the same thing with the Holocaust. Don't deny it. Learn from it. Learn from your history, man.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Holocaust Remembrance Day is always a tough one for me. I do a lot of prayer in private on that. Again, I'm a practicing Jew, so I do a lot of I do a lot of prayer. I pray. Just a fun fact. We'll end the show this way. I pray more than your average person. I study the Talmud and I do my best to pray as close to 100 times a day as I can. I have a prayer for when I get up out of bed. I have a prayer for when my feet touch the ground. I have a prayer for damn near everything, it feels like. And I don't do it out loud, you know. I keep to myself, but I do. I feel like a healthy theist relationship. I feel like it breeds a sense of self. Exactly. But, you know, I would definitely be, if World War II was happening, they wouldn't like me. They wouldn't like me. But I also keep an eye out for things like that.
They want you for their tests.
Yeah.
They were pretty creepy dudes in the German dudes in Poland. It's pretty sick. And big shout out to Polish people, because they in World War I they had a beat up. In World War II they had a beat up, and I went to Poland and they are very humbled, and they have backbone. They are in the European Union and they don't give a fuck what Brussels say. We are in Poland and we do what we want.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing what Putin does. The same thing what Putin does. It's the European Union. They are shove up every years a little bit. So fuck off with the European Union. England is so smart, they stepped out.
Look, that's a very European sentiment. If I've said it before on the stream, if I was a UK citizen, I would have voted to Brexit. Don't at me. We're going out on that though. I gotta go shave my everything. I'm gonna come back no eyebrows. I'm gonna come back full turtle, just bald.
Mark, I hope you have success today.
Oh, thank you so much, my brother. I hope everybody does too, man. I hope everybody has a great day. Renz, thank you for popping by. Justin, Graf, I see you there too. We had, who was it that popped through? I've already forgot your name, new friend Dagny. We had a new friend Dagny pop in. I hope to hear her voice again. She's new to Discord, but hey, we have a place to help you get used to Discord in our Discord. If you want to hop into the Inform, Learn, Define channel and ask some questions, there's plenty of
It's
mergies
super
around.
cool, and it's also nice to share your plans.
Yes.
We have people. We have girls who share plans. We share our dogs, our cats. It's pretty funny to, and we don't like creepers or dick pics. It's not allowed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was raised by women, so if you're a new female in the community and you experience any kind of harassment from any member, you reach out immediately and understand that you have nothing but my support and an ally in me in helping deal with that. And we'll report them to the authorities. Again, I'm a YouTuber, so we have probably a few different creepy stalkers on the channel at this point. And we just turn it over to the police now. So you just let us know if you guys have any issues, any new murkies, and we'll turn it over to the police. We'll turn it over to the police.
If you can behave, everybody is welcome who can behave.
Oh, everybody. Yeah. And share your stuff. Again, Creator Positive here at Merc Radio here in our Discord. I want to see what you're working on. If you need help working on something, if you need music, we're kind of becoming a resource for each other. If I get to... Andrea's Dagny. Atlas Shrugged. I like it, Andrea. I like you. You're good company, Andrea. And again, I appreciate the conversation between Andrea and Jameson. If anybody wants to go back through the live chat replay and kind of watch two people who disagree have a very good conversation with each other, it's worth it. Yeah, Jameson, it is. It's so weird. But some people, again, when you're a YouTuber, you attract all kinds. And I look, I could start a cult. I attract such weird people. So it happens. But our Discord is for people that can hang and want to talk. One thing I've been loving to hear is when someone is influenced, like they're inspired to stream because they're a part of the Discord or because they watch the stream.
It's also for some people, they are afraid to show themselves, to show their Jewish boxer nose and their flappy ears and their weird baldness. And don't be afraid. Come out of the dark.
Hey, you'll hear special guests and I talk about our Ashkenazi traits all the time. All the time. You'll hear me rag on my hair or my nose all the time. But all right. I love you, Renz. I'm going to hop out of this Discord. Again, thank you, Justin. Thank you, Graf. Thank you, everybody. Jameson, Andrea, Brian. I see you all here. I'm going to hopefully secure a position, man. Go secure a job. Thank you for hanging out.